Good evening and welcome. Jeff here, stepping in for Roy, where we're going to be chatting about the whiskey capital of the world, the wee tune, Campbeltown. And I'm bringing with me some special guests who, in truth, are a lot more knowledgeable than I am. I'm not the expert of Campbeltown. I'm not an expert of whiskey. I'm just the slapper in the shirt and the shades who is a bit too passionate and has got no friends to talk to. So from bottles to branding, distilleries to discussion, we're just going to kind of wing it a little bit, see how it goes, have some good chat with good folk and some good whiskey. So as the wise man once says, I'll see you in a bit.
Jeff Whisky.
Yes, pop-up vPub takeover, whatever the term is. Currently, Roy is having a skinful in Campbeltown Festival. So he messaged me last week and was like, could you do a live stream? Could you take over for me? So I'm going to try my best. We'll see how it goes. There's an awful lot of people here, so thank you for joining. I hope you all watched the recycled review before this. Normally, the warm-up act leads to the main act, but we'll see how it goes. Lots of people in. I'm going to try dive into the chat. Do at me with Jeff Whisky and I'll try see it. It doesn't always pop up, or it's more likely me not being the smoothest, but there's so many people here. Jimmy Legg, Jerry Miller. I've got this remarkably zoomed in, so I'm really straining my neck to look. Let's see if I can make that larger. Whiskey Lovey Kelpie, Major Nut, great name. WhiskyWithMolly, Charlie Holmes, Frederick, hundreds of people, literally over 100 people here. So that's phenomenal. Thank you all so much. Do chat about the recycled review because I did have to pause it and get myself ready. So I had him not on audio, on video only. So I didn't get to see what he poured into his big barrel. Generally can't keep up with the chat. So thank you so much for being here. That's amazing. So Campbeltown, the whiskey capital, was the whiskey capital, still is the whiskey capital. We're going to chat about that. We're going to debate. I've got a lot of good guests. I've managed to squeeze 4 people for their time. They don't realize what they're getting themselves into. They've only got themselves to blame. Also, just want to give a quick shout out. It's getting late, so my wife will probably be fed up of hearing my voice. So I just want to say cheers to my wife if you want to join me. My daughter's currently got chicken pox, so she's taking the brunt of it tonight. So we'll see how that goes. If you hear screaming, that's just Rob having a good time. And also pinned in the comments while I remember, if I've done it right, you should be this. Now, I've not released kind of who the special guests are, but one guest was very passionate about the idea of bingo. So on that link, it should take you to like a little bingo card. And on there, you can kind of play away, tick off things, let us know in the chat when you get bingo. It should like randomly generate between people, but bingo doesn't get too serious. I've seen a few fights in Mecca bingo, but we take this seriously here. And that's awfully kind. Danny, you'll be fine, Jeff. Let the drums begin. 100%. I won't talk about the whiskey until I bring the guests in, and then I've got other people I can chat away with. We've got Molasses, never heard of Campbeltown. You're not missing much. I think the less people who know about it, the better. What I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly jump the intro to the other guests. We'll get to them just because I've seen a drunken man stumble into the green room. So if he's ready, can I get a thumbs up? Again, that's not a thumbs up, but I'll bring him in. The man who's had a skinful. And you see him. There he is. Good evening, Roy. Welcome to the vPub.
Hey, hello, fella. How you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Yourself?
I thought it would be better if I came in earlier rather than later because, yes, it's late in the day here in Campbeltown, but it's our second day. It's the end of our second day as well. So we're having an absolutely fantastic time. I'm actually on brand. Look at this. But I have to say, the reason that I'm on brand tonight is not because I'm on brand. It's because when we were travelling down here, there wasn't any sun cream left in Campbeltown. It was scorching, gorgeous weather. But since Sevi and I arrived yesterday, the weather has turned sour. There was a storm last night. It's rained all night and it's been rainy all day today. So Spring Bank Day was super rainy, and I needed different clothes. So I had to go and buy some merch in order to stay warm, and so that's why I'm wearing my Kilkerran.
I'll allow it.
But I wanted to make sure that I came in and said thank you and huge thanks for taking care of all the barflies and late on a Thursday night and doing a vPub. I'll just, for a quick hello, just wave and say hi, you're live, hi. You're live.
Hi.
So
Good evening.
Incredible. Yeah. Yes, just walk straight past and you go.
So, I am relieved, Roy, because at first
I'm coming to you live, and I've jumped out onto the staircase for Julie Hamilton, the gorgeous superstar that is Julie Hamilton. She had a surprise birthday party this evening, and oh, can you see her? There she is. It's been a very emotional night.
It's been a very emotional night.
Yeah, but a wonderful night.
I'm very overwhelmed, but yeah, thank you.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Terry, on you go.
Yeah. Thank you.
So it's a surprise birthday, a very special birthday for Julie.
Don't tell anybody what it is.
I'm not sure. So it's been an emotional night, a very emotional night. I'm coming in. Sorry, it's some chaos. This is not good. It's not good for people watching, Pete, I'm sure.
No, I'm relieved. When you first phoned, I thought you was in a cubicle, so I'm relieved that the other people in there with you, you're in a staircase. That's a good.
No, I'm on a staircase. Yeah, I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to I want to get Sevi out for a second. I think just to say hello to everyone, and so that the two of us can kind of. I mean, we've got no chance of in any way distilling, if you pardon the pun, how much of a kind of people experience, how much of a kind of communal, wonderful, joyous whiskey experience this is. We're going to end up with sore throats this weekend. We're going to end up probably having too many whiskies and things, but it's always, always, always about the people and the amount of hugs, the amount of love, the amount of genuine kind of mutual support and celebration of everything that exists in this realm is on display over these few days. It's just been amazing. And we've still got another day tomorrow. Scott is coming down, Scotland Rose coming down. Kilted Moose is coming to join us tomorrow for the Kilkerran Day. We're excited about that. But you've got a really cool lineup set up tonight, so I don't want to get in the way.
No, we're very grateful to have you. If you want, just pop in whenever you want, you or Sevi or anyone, and I'll try catch you and bring you in.
Well, why don't
and we'll milk you for your.
Can you hear me? Okay, yeah, the audio's okay, yeah. So if I go and grab Sevi now, but just by me going into that room and to grab Sevi, you'll understand the chaos that's happening at the festival. Okay. And then I can grab him and come out and we can both speak to you together. Will that work? Okay, is that going to work?
Yeah, first we've got our man on the ground currently.
Okay, I'm just going to do a wee... The best thing I can do is we'll go out and say, I want to show the whiskey selection. Oh, you've got my gram? Oh, that's why you're here. Amazing. 12-year-old red bourbon. And this is some of the whiskeys that are available. Take a look at that one. Can you see that? No. We had a sample of this already. I hope that's focused. You go out and stay. What do you want me to do? You do this. Put this in. Okay. Okay, hello. Right.
Good evening, you right? Long time no see.
Oh no, I can't. I can only hear it. Hold on. Let me go again. Hold on. Wait.
Sing for us.
Let's see what we're doing. No, I can't hear anybody.
You know when your mum FaceTimes you on Christmas Day and they try to show you what they're doing?
Right, should we go outside?
Right. That's my gram. Let's go.
I think you captured the chaos well.
Not only has Sebi got me a dram, but he's stealing a bottle too. Here you go. Here you go, ladies. I think the audio is now coming out of the phone. Is the audio coming in the phone? Let's sit together here, Seb.
Oh, shall we?
This is a mess, and we knew it'd be a mess, but
sounds good.
But we want to get this over with so these guys can just relax. Right,
Right.
Jeff, speak. Can we hear you?
Yes, I can hear you both fine. I'll make you. Oh, I've disappeared you. Wait there. Let me make you bigger.
That sounds good. Yep. We're
There you
here.
go.
Right. Okay. So we can hear you enough for this to work. All right.
Yeah, we got Roy. There he is, the man himself. Good evening. You
So-
all right?
I'm good, yes. I'm fine, thank you. Yes, it's been a wonderful day. A very whiskey-infused day, but
We're doing okay though.
we're doing okay.
Yeah.
We're in for the long haul.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing is because there's so much whiskey floating around. There's so much good intention. There's so much sharing, all that stuff. So we're really trying hard just to kind of. You punctuate it with chats and discussion. You lose your voice a wee bit, but
You've got to pace. It's all about the pacing.
yeah. What I was talking about is just the sheer amount of sharing, collaborative, joyous love and community, and just everything just feels great. Said we were tired this morning.
We were.
And let's admit it, right?
Yeah, we were almost tired at midday, like tired in the morning. We were tired. It was brilliant though. Like we were like a little bit low ebb, I would say, in the morning.
Yep. And we turned up thinking, how are we going to get through this? You know, 1 dram in, 5 hugs, and handshakes and celebration, and just everything was restored and everything's great again.
It was amazing,
Just
even
amazing.
from like folk from London that I haven't seen for like a couple of years.
Yep.
Just coming up, and one of my good friends, Jack Tobb, came up and just decided to pull out a pear-shaped Springbank from 1960 and just pour a couple of drams for, first of all, obviously Roy, who he just met there, and things like that. It was just amazing. Like just that kind of.
When he says pear-shaped, he's talking about the old style.
old
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah.
So just incredible sharing and speaking to folk from Holland, from Germany, all over the
So
world.
P-Head Frank was travelling to Islay, and he made a short detour down past Kennacraig to come to Campbeltown, and we met him today, and he said, Frank, he said, I can't have a dram because I'm taking the bike up. No, park your bike at our house. So Frank's in there partying. Right?
Yes.
P-Head is in the party. Right?
He's 100% in the party.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
He's definitely not driving that bike back to Gilphead.
No, he's getting to sleep on. He's got Scotty Monroe's bed for tonight. Until Scotty. So, I mean, it's just everyone. You know, Jeff, you've been up for the Glasgow Festival. Imagine that spread over 3 days. That's the kind of thing that we're looking at, and maybe 4 or 5 days. We're only here for 3 days,
Yeah,
so
for sure.
it's just everybody is kind, generous. They're pulling out whiskies. Oh, let's share this.
And certain people, like as I said, that you don't necessarily know that well, but it's just that kind of essence of camaraderie, the essence of community. It's brilliant. It's amazing to see. You almost feel a little bit guilty in some respects because
How welcome you feel.
Exactly.
How welcome you feel. Yeah.
Because sometimes, I'm taking, as I said, an amazing dram. Like for example, I only met Daniel today.
Daniel Key, the hero.
And, do you know what I mean? And he's pouring a 14-year-old Springbank. Do you know what I mean? There we go.
But the distillation, look at the distillation.
See if I can get that in focus. Is it going in focus? Oh, hang on. I'm not doing this very well.
Yeah.
Right, well, to give you an idea, 14-year-old Springbank, distilled in 1991 and bottled in 2006. Just amazing.
And here he is.
Here he is. Here's as if by magic. There's Daniel there.
Good evening.
1973 Highland Park.
1973 Highland Park.
Yep. Hello.
Daniel doesn't say much or do much, but when he does it with aplomb.
Have you not got the 72?
Well, I don't know. It's like some guy just told me 73 Highland Park.
So listen, I think all that we have to do is give you that quick, brief glimpse of the chaos that is here. But Jeff, honestly, thank you, buddy, for looking after all the barflies tonight and giving them a place to go while I'm away partying. And
also, thank you for letting my boy Roy here actually come away for a few days with myself and enjoy it. And I would have to say, for anyone, just do what you can to be here. Because if you get a chance to go, and I know sometimes it's expensive, it's not an easy place to come. The Campbeltown Festival is amazing. The people are brilliant, the community is brilliant, the folk from Campbeltown are amazing. The Springbank is just, it's something like you'll never experience.
There are
It
tears
is.
being shed in that room right now, of tears of just pure joy, just gratitude at being alive, and another way to experience this amazing community that whiskey has built for us all to enjoy.
And YOLO, you only live once, so
That's right.
get it done.
Wow.
Jen, we're
Cheers to
almost
that.
done.
We're almost done. Listen, for the rest of the night, we've kept you for longer. Away and enjoy yourselves, and I'll be back next week. But I'm a wee bit nervous that the show that Jeff is going to put together for everyone tonight will be even better than the usual Thursday night programming. Of course it will.
And Jeff,
No
I love
pressure.
oh, that shot is
Cheers, buddy.
Love it. Love it.
Nobody rocks a loud shirt
Shut
and
up.
a pair of sunglasses
Super.
like our Jeff.
Yeah,
Listen,
that's for good reason.
For everything that's going to happen from here on in, big guy, I look forward to picking up tomorrow morning and replay as we recover.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, with a fairly fuzzy head.
Yes. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Fuzzy head. Love to you all.
Cheers.
Slant your va, big guy.
Cheers to Campbeltown and community.
Slange of up.
Fantastic.
Well, I think it's fair to say Roy's having a good time. Let me just compose myself a bit now. So that was the special guest. That was the vPub, and I'll end it there. Now I've got more guests. So if you've been to Campbeltown Festival, let me know. I've got guests, who know more about Campbeltown than me, and I think I will. I'm trying to quickly dive into the chat because very amazing things are happening. So thank you all very much. Robert, you became a YouTube member. I saw that come in just before I went live, so I quickly edited my YouTube member banner I've got at the end. Thank you for the support. Danny, £10. Thank you ever so much. Very kind. You don't have to donate it. I'm very grateful, of course, and it will go straight into the whiskey bank. But yeah, thank you. Donna Pass Whiskey. Thanks for hosting us, Jeff. Usually working, but got off early, so happy to be here with the barflies. Good luck with the chicken pox. Thank you. Yeah, well and truly pickled she is. If I did dot to dot, I'd run out of ink fast. I hope you enjoy the vPub and hope that you're not working. The one you're not working is a good vPub to join in. Another new member, welcome to the Bottle Slap Club. Thank you, Sheldon. The one and only Jimmy Leg. I came here to see Jeff. He's so brilliant and handsome. Who is this guy on the right? Well, you got to let these people join. They get excited. I think it must have been a bit surreal seeing Roy as a guest on the vPub. But I'm very grateful for him stopping by, and I'm grateful for him giving me the opportunity to chat whiskey to so many people. And of course, the mighty work. Honestly, words can't express. We can all do our own things in our own way, and you're a very generous person. So thank you ever so much for enriching, pardon the pun, the whiskey community. And thank you all for doing it. It just shows, like Roy then at the Campbeltown Festival, we all love the whiskey, but I think we all love the community just as much, if not sometimes a smidge more. So thank you all so much. I can't quite keep up with the chat. For some reason, it's not telling me highlighted ones. Malty Mission, don't know what he's doing here. That's how showbiz works. It only lasts as long until the next big thing comes along, in this case, Jeff. I know I've let myself go a little bit, Menno, but there's no need for that. But all jokes and disruptions aside, thank you all for being here. Thank you for Roy and Sevi for popping in. I'm going to start bringing in my guests, and we're going to start. If we can't be at Campbeltown Festival, we can have our own little Campbeltown Festival here. So I'm going to bring in the first person. If they're all ready, I'm not going to tell you who's coming in first. No, that would be mean. But I'm going to start with someone who's a barfly, a barfly, the whiskey mechanic, and a dramfacer. Mr. You know him. If I can, there it is. Mr.
Hey,
Rob Halford, how are you?
I'm very good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I can't complain.
It's going well so far.
Yeah, you get a few disruptions coming in, but you got to indulge them. So 2 questions for you. First, how are you? And secondly, have you got Campbeltown in the glass at the moment?
I am very well. I'm very well, actually. Yeah, I've got 3, let's say, Campbeltown whiskies. So I thought, because obviously there's only 3 distilleries in Campbeltown so far, I thought we might be tripping up over ourselves. So I thought I go for something that, well, one, feels very apt being on the Jeff Whisky channel, and Well, we've already spoken about it before, so I'm starting off the night with a Ben Romack, the unofficial official Campbeltown whiskey of Speyside. I do have a Campbeltown here with me, but
You've gone Campbeltown adjacent, kind of.
Campbeltown adjacent, yeah. But I've also got for later on my Oswer Whiskey of the Year 2023, Kilkerran 16. I'm saving this one for later, but I'm gonna have to reach out to Roy because I desperately want one of those jumpers now.
Yeah, I started typing a WhatsApp ready saying, "Could you pick me one up, please?"
Actually, funny you say that. I mean, I'm actually wearing a gift that you gave me recently.
The Neat Whiskey Club top. I don't know what's happened to that company. Unfortunately, they seem to have disappeared.
Oh, you're kidding, really?
So,
that's a shame. To do some really lovely stuff.
That's a collectible. That one you can put it on Vinted.
Well, next time I see you at Glasgow Whisky Festival, I want you to sign it
in black pen so no one can see it. Yeah. All right, I'm going to flapper and bring in the next guest. It's surprisingly difficult. I've zoomed really out for some silly reason. You can really tell I'm not keen with this technology. But I'll be bringing in.
Get into that age.
Very Somerset.
Age,
yeah. We don't do technology anymore. We'll leave that to the young'uns. So it's a man who's on a Malty Mission with a penchant for arse hattery. Mr. Menno himself.
Hey, good evening.
How is it?
Oh, not too bad, all things considered. Yeah.
Oh, well, very grateful to have you here, buddy. And
very grateful to be here as well.
So I thought, of course, we got to have one of your tantalizing quizzes, but also I've put in a few Jeff Whisky twist quizzes so I can get a bit of revenge on you, hopefully.
Okay, bring it.
I wasn't hoping for this level of confidence, to be honest, Menno. I was hoping.
No.
You're talking to the master quizmaster.
Yeah, I knew I got too big for my boots then.
It's all smoke and mirrors, all charade.
Do you have anything Campbeltown in the glass?
Oh yes. What Rob's drinking? It's the Kilkerran 16.
Choice.
Yeah.
And
is this going to turn into a Kilkerran party? Because I'm all for that.
No, also got a Glen Scotia, which was gifted to me by R. And it's last year's whiskey festival bottling. So it's a first fill bourbon and then finished in a Bordeaux red wine hoggy.
So that's the 2023 festival.
2023, yeah.
Have you tried any of the other festival bottles?
Nope.
I was going to. They did when I was really diving deep.
Yeah. The port one they did in 2020. Yeah.
The Tawny Port.
Yeah, that one. That was excellent.
Yeah, that was
bottle.
Yeah, I was kicking myself. That was very kind of early into being a real. Don't know why I turned into a DJ then, but being a real passionate whiskey enthusiast. And I was like, oh, it's like £60. That's a lot of whiskey. That's more than I've ever spent. And now I could just wish I could go back and slap myself.
Hindsight.
That I took that bottle on. Because of the whole pandemic and that, we couldn't do a honeymoon. So I got the little sample on my mini moon, we called it, when we just went away. And I was just, I feel like my wife felt I gave more love to that sample than to her. But that sounds worse than it was meant to. But on that note, we'll bring in the next guest. So it's a man who likes to talk whiskey and himself should have been in Campbeltown today. It is Kevin from Let's Talk Whiskey.
Evening, buddy. Good to see you. Thanks for
taking
over and taking the reins. It's not an easy thing to do, and I would always say no. So I'm glad you said yes.
No, I'm very grateful for you being here. Did you want to dive into why you're here today instead of not being in the thick of it?
So last minute, me and my friend were going to go to Campbeltown this morning and just go for just the day. He was going to drive, so I want to watch. I was getting chaperoned around, and I'll be able to try to my heart's extent, but it all got cancelled. All got cancelled last minute, which was a nightmare. So I was able to make it here tonight, which is the second. Well, if we're playing bingo tonight, I think I've kind of won bingo already. So if I lose it tonight, I don't really care enough. I've got a moral victory already. So yeah, we never got to go just due to some things changing last minute, which kind of a little bit of nightmare after seeing Roy and Sebi there in that whatever house, hotel, room, cage, dungeon they were in with all that whiskey seems to be the place to be. But if you're not there, we're here, and I like being here because this is a good wee bunch we've got and everyone in the chat. So I'm happy. I've got my Campbeltown whiskey. I've kind of went off the boat. Everyone's on Kilkerran, and I've went with a 10-year-old Springbank. This is 2021 bottling, but I've got a tiny wee bit left.
That's
I'm really quite sad with that news, to be honest.
Is that the late bottling? 2021. Is it November?
This is the 15th of March.
Well, no, both the 2021 bottlings were highly revered in the community.
I think that's probably why I've held on to it for so long. I've just been struggling to. I've got maybe a dram and a half left of that now, and well, a dram left now since I've got this. I'll need to hide it again, so it's sitting in the back collecting dust. So it'll be one of those ones I'll move out the way, or I'll probably finish it tonight here. We'll see how it goes. But I've got a good few that I thought I never had on my collection from Campbeltown, and then I forgot that there was blends and Kilkerrans and everything else. So I've got enough here to keep me going for the night. Absolutely. But for Menno's quiz, I'm going to blame it on too much whiskey if I get anything wrong. That's
what I always do.
It's gone from a message saying, "Oh yeah, I think I've got a couple of Campbeltown bottles. It'd be a surprise," to seeing your table almost falling over with the sheer.
It's a disgrace. I do apologise. I generally thought I had two, and then I forgot I had my old Kilkerrans from the old bottlings, the old school stuff as well. Yeah, so I've got a few of them, which I'm quite happy now because it keeps me in the spirit from not being in Campbeltown today, right? I'm able to have a wee mini. This desk is about the same size as Campbeltown anyway, so it's as if I'm here without being there. So we're doing all right.
So you've done well there, pal.
Yeah. that brings to the final guest. Let me just see if I can get this ready. Are you ready? Let's see if I can get it going. So, the marketing communications manager at Ardnamurchan Distillery, all-round legend, and tonight our Campbeltown expert. If I can get this to work.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
You are so sneaky.
Yeah. This is the extent of my technological skills. So I think, can everyone join me in a toast?
Let me take a screenshot. This is cute.
Happy 29th birthday, Jenny.
Oh, Menno.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I can confirm that's not me on the piano.
Jenny's younger than the resurrected Kilkerran. So there we go, Glendale.
The only issue is now, I don't know how I remove this. So is everyone happy with this for tonight?
An ambience.
Yeah.
Like white noise, it'll fade away.
Thank you so much for joining us, Jenny. It's very kind of you to spend your time, especially on your birthday. So, question is, how are you? And do you have Campbeltown in your glass?
I'm feeling good, feeling my age. I am so happy to be here because I spent a lot of my birthdays planning and attending that Campbeltown festival about 10, 13 years ago. That was me. It was a bit smaller back then. You know what? We didn't speak about this before we came on, but I'm also dramming Kilkerran 16. But I had a special Kilkerran. I had that first work in progress that we were working on. And I thought I'll have that because I'll be different. And guess what happened? Because I've had it for so long.
No. Send it up here, Jenny. I'll fix it. Don't worry. I'll get back to you.
I'll bring it over tomorrow.
That's it. I'll fix it.
But I know I'm so a bit gutted. I'll see if I can get I'm sure I could get an Adelphi cork to fit in there. But I'm good. Thank you so much. That was very nice. I did not know you had that plan. Thank you.
I did show everyone just before we went live. When you briefly popped off, I was like, this is the plan. I hope it works. And then it's a case of quickly close it quick.
I didn't know. I went to get my sunglasses because I wanted to be Jeff. That's cool as you, Jeff.
It's an honor that anyone would want to be like me, let alone cool as me is a stretch, but like me, I'll take that. And just quickly dip into the chat. Thank you all so much for being here. I generally don't know how Roy does it. Messages
know.
flying in left, right, and centre.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, can I just say, I'm just looking up because my phone is there. Thank you so much, everybody, for the birthday messages. I can't multitask because that comes with age. But thank you, everybody.
It's all right. I don't think any of us can multitask. So, David Owens, thank you for joining the Bottle Slap Club. Helen Andy, thank you so much. Graham, also YouTube member. So the Bottle Slap Club is what I refer to YouTube members, and I've been told off that a lot of my streams and videos I've not slapped bottles, and that's a weird thing that I do. I don't know if you're all aware of this bottle slap thing I do.
I am.
Everyone knows about the bottle slaps.
You've not lived if you don't know what a bottle slap is.
So would everyone be willing to briefly indulge me and just do a communal slap before I forget?
Oh, I'm mixing it up with the goose. Is it goose or slap?
The goose and the Jeff branding spreads too far. The goose is always there.
Right.
Like, I spent too much time this morning. I don't know if you can all see it, putting a goose behind a window.
Oh no, I saw it.
It's magic.
I thought I got tried a stamp on Roy's outside of a pub. So
Is there
whatever
in your
bottle.
pub?
So we got the slap in as my one.
I love it.
If we do it on 3, so 1, 2, slap. We'll see if we can get this in time. It's going to sound horrid for everyone, so I can only apologize. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
We'll take that. It's kind of off kilter. I liked it. It was jazz.
Just playing the internet.
It was like going to a child's school play when they're all trying to play their instruments at the same time, and all the parents are like, "No, you've done really well. It was the best thing," but it wasn't. But we'll try at the end. I think we'll be better at the end. I think
we're practicing. I think Jeff's just trying to fill his bingo card early.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Tick
oh yeah. Here.
Oh, they're all on to me.
They need to get the whole card.
Oh, hold the bus.
Yeah, I think the whole card. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did have it, and I had it in a window, and it's like, yeah, I'll do that, and I close it down in a panic. So if I go again, I would lose all the ones I've had. So I'm just gonna say I'm being very civil. I'm being the judge, so I won't get involved because I've seen Mecca Bingo on a Friday night. I've seen people's pensions disappear.
Listen, don't this it. Bingo is great.
Bingo is the most intense atmosphere you can go. If you open a packet of crisps, even slightly loudly beside an angry granny that's missed out by one number, it is chaos.
The focus, the doctor.
You sit in someone's seat. Oh my days! The wee Zimmer frame comes up and they just look at you and you know, I'm going to leave. I don't want any trouble, ma'am. I'm sorry. And
are you fluent in the bingo calling the ducks and the two fat ladies? And I don't think you're supposed to say that. Sorry, but but like are you fluent in the bingo calling?
Yeah,
that is a skill.
Absolutely.
My very childish, immature brain can only remember one. And are we beyond the watershed, are we?
Yes.
And it was always, I'm going to really show my immaturity here, but it was always 69 mil for 2. So I think on that one, we'll end it there. I think before we started, Jenny lowered the tone, so I'm just bringing it back up.
Absolutely love that quality.
I see a theme.
And I thought this was a family show.
This is where Roy realizes, why have I given these lot the keys?
This is why he starts it after 9 o'clock. That's it. PG is off. The reins are off.
Yeah.
I was trying to find my hat. Jeff breaks vPub, but I couldn't find it.
Was it bandanas and t-shirts we need?
Sweatbands.
That's just me in this room with this big light on my forehead.
It's
with it, I've noticed, I don't know if you have lights all in front of you, but I've tried to make this as professional as possible. And currently, my forehead is brighter than my future.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can all see that.
When you put your head slightly to your right, your ring light is right in your sunglasses, and you look like, oh my god, that's it.
Mr. Worldwide.
It's like Terminator from Wish. Yeah, I've got a lovely ring light, and I don't know if you can see, I've got another spotlight above me. It just looks like I'm looking. looking to the stars.
What a diva.
Oh,
Two
yeah,
spotlights.
Yeah,
That was
it's
funny.
as much beauty lights as I can take these days.
I've got the lights in the kitchen on at the minute. That's all I can manage.
That's right. It's looking good. Let's see if I can fly through some of the messages. I apologize if I've not read your message. I'll go back and reread it. And I don't know if anyone else, but I get a real buzz come down from being on a live stream. I remember the first time Roy invited me on the vPub, and his vPubs don't finish until midnight, maybe, around there. And he sometimes does a little chat after. So I think I didn't get to bed one time till 2 o'clock. And I was just in there going, oh, I'm in the community. I've made it.
Jeff, we're doing an all-nighter.
That's it. It's
Okay,
like,
well,
We're gonna catch back up with Roy when he's going for a kebab at 4 in the morning.
wait until you go round to his house and he just says, "I'll just go round for a catch up at 8 o'clock at night," and then it's 3 in the morning and you're getting kicked out because you think one more dram turns into one more dram. That's just what he's like. 'Cause that's the community in itself.
yeah, and I
One
think
thing
that is the theme is Campbeltown, but it's very much a sub theme of community. I think I'm very lucky to have 4 people donate their time to me and indulge me joining it. So I do another cheers to that, or is that too corny?
No.
Never too
No,
corny.
no.
Cheers to you all.
Cheers.
Everything. What have you got in your glass, Jeff? I don't think we've asked you. You've done this, but what is it? Are you on the theme? Have you hosted this, or have you went like Speyside or something quirky just because?
Bells.
I'm on.
Bells.
I'm on a delightful mixture of, you wouldn't recognize this possibly. It's not in the correct bottle, but if I said to you Dark Thunder, would that ring a bell to you, Kev?
No.
Not the bottle, the liquid.
Is that
Is it
like
not
lemonade?
Is it Kong? No, it's Kong, isn't it? Kong
Oh
Strong.
yeah.
So I've got my backup of a little energy drink there because this is well past my bedtime.
I was going to say you are raring for the after midnight show, aren't you? That's you're gunning for it. Love that.
It's only working.
Dedication.
So the first one I've got in the glass is the Campbeltown Lock.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
And this is the darker one, which apparently is not as good. Is that correct?
What year is it?
Does it tell me on the bottle?
Yeah, in the back probably.
Label. Well, it's hard to read because it's such a dark whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is. The shades have come up. It's taken 2022. What number is that? October 22. So is that a good one? A bad one? I don't know. It was reduced to what's like, there's a website, and I think I paid, you have to look up, it's like 30 quid, maybe 29 quid it came to.
Mm.
Decent.
And I was like, yes,
that's
I'm not
good.
going to complain at that.
No, that's good.
I've seen there's a lot of Elton John chat going on, which I'm all for. Reb, Jeff is Elton John, and then Jimmy Legg with a follow-up of Elton John is no Jeff Whisky.
No, we'll close out with a yellow brick road tonight.
I was going to say, you can call me Benny, and you could be my Jets. I could do lots of Elton John talk. You wouldn't guess by the shirt and shades, but I do like a bit of Elton John. But sidetrack, should we get to talking about Campbeltown? Does anyone want to particularly talk about the glass they're sipping right now, or the bottle they've got on the go? Anything that's really like tickling their pickle or a bit pants? I'm happy to start if no one's quite ready.
Well,
Is that?
I've just re-poured. I just finished and I went for the Hazelburn 14. This is the 2019 bottling, 49.3% Oloroso cask matured. I've had this since 2019, distilled in 2004. So it's got a little bit left as well. It's one of these ones I've just hung on to for a long time. And I've not had much in triple distillation before, especially in Scotch. We've only got Hazelburn and Auchentoshan and some of the new distilleries. So I've not had this for a couple of years. I don't know what to expect. I've gone sherry because I've started kind of more bourbon, but it's Campbeltown, so why not try and get from the light side to the heavy side and jump across from the 3 distilleries that are there and finish with the big hitters later on.
That's quite a good question that's made me think of there. What do you think is the best finish with Campbeltown Spirit? Obviously, it varies. I know my bias is I've got such a love with Campbeltown in port, either a port finish or a port maturation. So the Glen Scotia Tawny Port, that did things to me. The Kilkerran is an 8-year-old or 7-year-old, the Cash Strength Port Edition, my whiskey of the year. I've got a little image. Let's see if I can find it. I've almost come prepared. Can I add this to the stream? So what is it? Yeah, the Kilkerran 8, the port cask. Nothing as compared to that whiskey for me. So does anyone have any preference? I'm port all the way.
That port was magic, and I've said to you prior that I always buy the sherry every year, and that was the year I'm still haunt myself for not picking that up, because it just, everyone went for it after that for how good it was. It was a stunning dram.
It's nice to see how well it's doing, because I feel like once they switched from bourbon to sherry with the Kilkerrans, everyone kind of freaked out, which understandably the bourbon casks were fantastic, but it's nice to see that they've stuck to it and it's getting better and better, and then they're putting in new casks with the port. It's cool they're experimenting.
Yeah,
it's good that they're keeping the price as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge thing with Campbeltown is the price. Like these Kilkerrans, I don't think, especially with whiskey today, you can't argue the prices of these bottles at all.
Not at all. No, they're fantastic.
So yeah, so Lagavulin 16. How much is that now? Is that 90 quid?
Somewhere in that realm, I think. If you could imagine those 46% 8-year-old, and if Macallan put them out, like the price would be quadruple or so. But to keep getting honest whiskey at these prices, and even if they're increasing slightly every year, they're not doing anything crazy. It's what you need for such a renowned region in Scotch whisky. That there's a trust there, and it's not as if Glen Scotia are trying to run away and put their prices up. It's as if they're like a community within themselves, and they speak to each other and they want to keep it honest. And I think that's why everyone wants to go every year as well. Look at how busy it is to get to Campbeltown for this festival. People from all over the world knowing that they'll get good honest whisky at a really reasonable price. And the Victoriana, for instance, like £72, and that's an absolute stellar whiskey as well. It's just the difficulty is getting Springbank right. I think that's everyone knows. But you can go to Glen Scotia and go to Kilkerran and you can pick up different things. It's just a nightmare to get to as well. The drive, once you're stuck behind a bus, you can add an extra 45 minutes in your journey.
Yeah, I think I'll quickly move that logo because that logo is in the way. Like you said, it's worth the journey. Would you say to get a bottle, say of Springbank, which you can't? I don't know if you all agree, but Springbank still doesn't hang around. Maybe the 10 might be about a week at very most here in the UK. I know we're all UK based, apart from you, Menno. I don't know your experience with getting Springbank. Is that possible?
It is possible, but you'll probably be looking at a Springbank 10, and then just like you say, it'll be around for a few weeks maybe, and then it'll be gone as well, and then just to wait for the next batch to come out.
Yeah, I think Kilkerran. I think the new heavily peated has just been released. Is that correct?
Yeah, what are they on now? 10 or 11, or even further on?
It must be at least 10, I think. So I think I've got a 9 behind me, and I've also got. Oh, this one's 5. So this is
I've got the 6 from 2022 April. So maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or 11 potentially.
I never realised I had the date at the bottom. That's good to know. But yeah, the experts in the community.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat there. It's interesting to see everybody's comments.
Yes. Let's see if I can scroll up a bit higher and catch up with some folk. Let's dive in.
That double cask is one of the best value Campbeltown drams for money. And was it PX and Sherry and PX or whatever, PX bourbon and PX, and it was like 30 quid and 46%, just an absolute quality dram.
Yeah, I think Menno just read Gerben's comment, Elton John with the phrase "tickle your pickle." I've got a lot of strange phrases. I was recently on the round table, and are you aware of the term? Oh, I've got to say this right now. So I said the term double fisting, where you have 2 glasses at once.
Yeah.
That is a common phrase, isn't it? And I was told, no, that is not the right phrase. I need to go have a word with myself.
Double parked. Yeah, it's double parked.
Yeah, you're in the smuck.
it's
Your mind
probably
is in the
common.
gut, Jeff. You're talking about bingo calls and other things. This is an X-rated.
That's an odd bingo call.
Speaking of bingo, Jimmy only needs me to mispronounce something. Surely I've done that already. That's normally, I say that on my own intro, I mispronounce something. Skipped. He isn't saying that's what they cost in the US. He's giving you the price. And yeah, so I did try have a quick hunt and I set up a VPN. How do I add this? There we go. I did try to find the retail in like US actual dollars. So yeah, this is just the conversion rate to give an idea of what we pay. I couldn't find any shops that had like the legacy of prices, because if it was out of stock, it doesn't list the price. So I was unable to do it. I did aim to try doing that. So I'm not sure who that was response of. Sugar Kitty, yes, I'm afraid to say. Is it 3 times more? Is that like across the board, or is it kind of per scale? It'd be fascinating to know. I know we're very lucky where we all are. Not you, Menno, sorry. But again,
it'd be interesting to see if the Campbeltown effect in pricing affects Glen Scotia as much, because like we were saying, obviously they've stuck to the prices and they've kind of tried to be again, probably competitive is not the right word, but they're not competitive, are they? But it is, the pricing is fantastic and the whiskey is still brilliant, and it has all the hallmarks of Campbeltown with the funk and the variety, and obviously it's all part of, it's obviously included in the festival, but it's just, it doesn't seem to have gained the hype as the Springbank house does. And even though I feel like the Springbank obviously pulls along Longrow and Hazelburn, but even Kilkerran, it sticks around, and I mean, I don't really want to broadcast this too much, but I think it's possibly my favorite. I don't really want it to start disappearing, the Kilkerran, but I think it's definitely my favorite distillery in the wee tune. But it's interesting how the brands differ.
I love Kilkerran Glengyle Distillery. I think it's just it's perfect. It's perfectly shaped, it's perfectly run, and the story behind it, it's just fantastic. And when the spirit started coming off, that waxy, oily, gritty Campbeltown style, like, it's perfect. I remember it's a while now since I lived and worked in Campbeltown, but the chat was always, can we up the production? It was distilling, I think, 3 weeks in May and 3 weeks in November throughout those early years. And that's changed now. I think they have ended up changing it, but obviously you have to take into consideration the pricing of raw materials and staffing, because it's the same workers that work at Springbank that goes across and makes the whiskey at Kilkerran or Glengyle. And it's a difficult balance then to balance the prices, and the fact that they are keeping their pricing normal is, I think, just proof, and that's why we like them. I mean, that's, somebody put up a post on social media earlier about the actual price of how much an 8-year-old or 10-year-old bottle of whiskey cost when you're talking about the ingredients and the electricity and the staffing and the bottle and the box. And it was not the £160 that the company was charging for it. And obviously there is different elements of marketing that goes in there and sales, and depends on who's promoting that whiskey. But so Campbeltown don't need that. They just don't need it. They just have this. It's really organic and genuine. Like, I know we're all. It feels like a little bit of a fan club or whatever, this whole situation, but well deserved. Like, I've watched it as I've worked on the inside, and I'm on the outside looking in, and I love it. I think it's a great attitude to have, and make whiskey for people to drink whiskey. Don't make it because you need to line somebody's pockets. Or
and it's nice they're stuck with that mentality as well. They haven't had to. I feel like there's a number of even legacy brands that have started to really lean into heavy marketing and try to like appease a new customer. And understandably, because obviously the community is getting bigger and bigger by the day. And
I mean, it is a
obviously
competitive market, yeah.
absolutely, but it's great that obviously there is that fan base and people know of, well, not off from the supermarket shelf, they don't know Campbeltown, but in the community and the whiskey fans, we love what the region is making. But it's nice that they're still doing what they're doing and keeping everything like fair. I mean, obviously there are slight increases, which I think we can forgive them for, because obviously things are costing more. But it's brilliant. It really is brilliant.
How do you think the Campbeltown will shape up? Obviously, the new distilleries that are going to come in, right? That they've had enough time to look at the pricing, and you've got, places, Falkirk Distillery, for instance, they put their inaugural out for, what was that, £200 odd, and they had to come out with a big apology. They've seen what everyone's doing around them. People, yes, still buy it because they want the first editions, which is kind of fair. But they've got to hit the ground running, right? Because they need to be able to pull. It's not pull business away from, like, nothing will ever leave Springbank or Glen Scotia or Kilkerran, but how do you think the market will change, or for how they will hit the market running? Because they're going to have to put out young whiskey at a reasonable price. Because if it's too pricey, people will just say, well, we still trust Kilkerran. We can get it all the time. If we can't get Springbank, if we can't get Springbank, Kilkerran, and get Glen Scotia, or vice versa, that triangle's always in the limits of being able to obtain. But these new distilleries are going to have to, like, their business plan has to be hit the ground running in some weird way and make it.
It's going to be hard.
It's going to be hard, but on the other hand, I think what we just seen with the Ardnamurchan release, that was probably one of few of recent inaugurals that I was actually excited about, because there has been a bit of the novelty has worn off. Let's be honest about that. So, and I think in the case of a new Isla distillery coming along, that will get people excited, and the fact that there's 2 or 3 Campbeltown distilleries about to be up and running, I think the Campbeltown stamp on it will do a lot of the work for them initially, but they still have to live up to with the quality of the bottle, because you can only fool them once.
And is it enough just to be in a town? Is that what gives it the grit? I don't know. But you have the experience. You obviously have the raw materials if you're using the same.
It's like when you buy wine at times, if it says, for instance, if you like, it says Bordeaux, you're like, oh, that's from Bordeaux. I'll get that because that's going to be good. Does Campbeltown for me still has the pull, because was the biggest whiskey read. Was about 300 distilleries at one point in time, illicit distilleries, and whittled down to these 2, then 3 again, and now it's bumping back up. And I think it's great to see, because it is just a small little town. If whiskey wasn't there, you would never go, right? There's not much. There's not much to do.
And no, it was such a thriving area back in the day with the mackerels, the fishing, and the community there. Quite a shallow harbour with lots of shipping. But it just died a death, and I think 60s, 70s, 80s, don't quote me on that. Historians in Campbeltown will be angry with me if I get that wrong. But it really did die a death, and it has a bad reputation. So there's been a lot of, a little bit of bad press in the 90s, and so. But the 2 distilleries that pulled through were Glen Scotia and Springbank, and the reason, we all know the reason. You know the reason for Kilkerran, don't you? It's kind of part of why we love them, isn't it?
They had to have 3 distilleries in a region to be classed as a region. Is that why?
It wasn't enough that it was a historic reason. It wasn't enough for it to be placed on this map that the SWA was promoting, if you like. And so Mr. Wright adamantly decided that there is a dormant distillery in his family. He's just going to start it up again, and it's why they did just a little bit, just enough to get that back on the map.
That's the stubbornness us Scots have. Is like, do you know what? Watch this. I'll just go and open that then, and that'll be that.
He didn't do it for himself, though. He did it for the community. He did it to Campbeltown, because making that a region. How many tastings do you go to? And you can be going to a Speyside tasting or a Highland tasting, or like a company from all of these other regions. Campbeltown comes up, and there's only 3 distilleries in there. So they're getting the limelight. I mean, it's so clever, really clever, and genuinely for the community.
And the good thing, when you buy a blend from Campbelltown, you've kind of got a really good chance of knowing what's in it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Highland blend, Speyside blend, oh God, what's in that? But Campbelltown, you're like, I've got a good idea what's in this.
I don't know if I know this is a Campbelltown episode and I will only plug my own stuff every now and again, but you may or may not have heard of this dude in flannels. What's his call? Is he called Bertie? No, Ralphie, that's the one. No, sorry. Ralphie's Whiskey of the Year, McLean's knows. Obviously, that's single malt whiskey in there from a really cool Highland distillery on the west coast of Scotland. But there's a tiny bit of Campbelltown whiskey in there as well. So yeah, it's funny when you're doing tastings of it and you're telling them, right, that's big percentage of malt whiskey. There's a lot from a west coast distillery. We could wonder which one that could be. And then you say, and there's a bit of Campbelltown in there as well. I mean, we're talking a tiny bit. And that's when people go, really? What? Which one? And then you have to be really cryptic and go, well, which one do you think?
Yeah.
It's great.
1 in 3 chance.
Great reputation.
Yeah. I never knew that. That's quality. But again, that just shows the pool of that tiny little region that you mentioned. Campbelltown, people are straight in. Oh, it's like, and you wouldn't pick it out. So you're going to imagine the McLean's Nose has the percentage of it must be a small percent compared to the main liquid from that West Coast distillery that people probably know about. But it's weird because everyone just goes, "Oh, what is it?" And that's the excitement that a place that has 3 whiskies can have that pool is bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
So with Campbelltown, in theory, do we feel like it is on a resurgence? Because with so the new one that's coming soon is
which one? Who's which one? Who owns that?
That is, I know the answer to that. Yeah, Brave New Spirits. I have to do research. I didn't know about this. So this is the one with the big yellow tower. These are all just like the artist renderings. I was looking into it. So Witchburn, in theory, is the next one to be open. And then there's also 2. I'll let someone else pronounce these.
Daliata and Mahanish.
Yep, those 2. I'm not giving someone that bingo point. And it's...
Oh, yes, you still haven't mispronounced anything.
Go for it, it'll be funny.
Anyway, so Witchburn, really easy to say. Do we think, I've lost my voice already. Excuse me. Do we think with a swell of more Campbelltown distilleries that may either increase the region's popularity or will it dilute the essence that is Campbelltown?
Well, they're building on the shoulders of the giants, aren't they, really, in the industry? Like, I don't think you could dilute it at all. I think, if anything, that they're jumping on with the cool kids, aren't they? And they're really riding on the coattails of some of the best distilleries, well-known distilleries in the whiskey geek community, definitely. But it's, I think, hopefully they play ball. Yeah. That's the only thing.
Well, this is it. But do you remember probably not because you're so very young, but 2005 when Kilhuman came out to start distilling in Islay, they were the young kids on the block, and they were kind of being looked down on a bit and have had to prove themselves, but they did it. I definitely think there is a space for these newer distilleries in Campbelltown. Campbelltown is it's a really, I mean, obviously it's really far from everything, and there is a bit of a road you have to get down to get your ingredients there and things like that. But it is definitely space for it. There's space for it. That's been proven in the past. And the knowledge as well. The people that live there have got experience working in the industry. So I am hopeful for it's going to be it's going to be almost like the new generation, the old generation. Like when you were in a town, there's that side of the river and the other side of the river. But one is not better than the other. It's just a different
vibe. That's because from the sounds of it, Witchburn are taking it all like they've released all the plans. They're trying to do it all to the same standard in theory as the rest of them. So as long as the spirit they're putting out is good and the liquid they're putting out is good, that can only be better because the higher the tide, it raises everyone's ship. So I'm assuming that's the plan. And the 2 other new ones, I don't think anything. Thank you. This is like a really good. I could use you to say the words for me, and we can see how long it can take for me to mispronounce it. It'll be something really simple. I'll fall on.
I think
You can just
Look at
lip
it.
sync in.
yeah, that's it. I'll just send a voice note across, and you just echo it like the radio, and you just keep pressing that button. DJ,
Elton
DJ,
John,
DJ. You look at like Springbank. What do you think would happen to Springbank if they changed a kind of quirky upscale? Say you look at Thompson Bros, even Brave New Spirits. Brave New Spirits, this kind of quirky branding, right? Yes, it's all about liquid, but the old school branding for Springbank is, for me, is always eye-catching. It's not this far-fetched. It just says Springbank, 10-year-old Campbeltown. Like, it's got everything that's there. And I think if they rebranded, or how, oh, maybe, sorry, let me rephrase it. What do you think the new distilleries will look at for their branding? Because it is a very traditional style. Even Kilkerran itself is very traditional on the links of the tower that's there, the Glengyle Tower and things. And do you think they're going to go the new age branding that Brave New Spirits already use, or is it going to be this kind of traditional style bottling? Because some of the bottles out there, like yourselves with Ardnamurchan, for instance, these have got stunning bottles. It's traditional, but
What you mean a bottle like this?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have
like-
no shame.
Oh,
No shame.
it's amazing, and it's like in Rassy and things, and these are new distilleries, and people do buy their eyes as well, right? But it's the word Campbeltown, I think, would be first known before the bottle you look at. Like, what's that? Well, there's Springbank and there's Witchburn. Witchburn looks all cool and funky, but you know what that is. Like, the spirit's going to have to be so good and so.
People will buy what's good spirit. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It has to taste good. They want it can look as pretty or as awful as it like. If the liquid inside isn't good, that's not going to work. I mean, we know that it needs to be good liquid. Unless they're really completely aiming for a gift market, but that would be a waste for a Campbelltown distillery. I can't see that happening. But then I'm not involved in any of these new distilleries, so I wouldn't know. But I'd like to think that there is like nods getting given to that traditional area of that is Campbelltown. But listen, actually this is the first time I can see the plan. I've seen the plans of Witchburn, and I think they're definitely on it if they can do their sustainable and responsible distilling plan, go ahead with all that, then that would put them aside from Springbank and Hazelburn, Longrow and Glen Scotia, because those distilleries are 200 years old. There's a struggle for them to meet those requirements, and new distilleries can embrace that. And in Campbeltown, they can embrace that. And if there's a group of distilleries starting up, then they can work together on that, like Ardnamurchan and Kneen, and that can happen. So I think that's the angle they will go for, like make whiskey in a responsible way and make good whiskey.
What a fantastic angle, though.
Good.
I was gonna say, what a fantastic angle to say. Like, so it's the bright yellow, aren't they? They could go down the Bruichladdich, big, like not garish, but like big and bold branding, or they could follow their sub-sister brands of like Brave New Spirits. I forget what their other brands are, but they could do that. But I mean, Jenny, I think you've nailed it for them. If they could go down this eco route and do everything correctly and just do it sustainably, and if anything, they could teach the big guys something new. I mean, obviously, like you're absolutely right. There's 200 years old. It's much harder for them to kind of like drop tools and just completely gut the system, but what a nice way to do it. What a nice way to stand out and be different, and rather than just being just flashy. Absolutely.
There's so many new. I mean, making whiskey is a traditional. There's 3 ingredients, and you use your copper still as a batch distillation process. But there is the blockchain technology out there. There's the QR coding and all this responsible distilling that it looks like Witchburn is taking on. So there's so many other angles they can go for if they want to set themselves aside or apart from the more traditional distilleries in Campbeltown.
We will 100% stay on this branding topic because this is where my passion is. I love branding. I'm just going to quickly jump into the chat because I don't want to leave the folk out. So Molasses loves the name Witchburn, and hope they make look. Yeah, I think Witchburn is something that's easy to pronounce. And on their website, they've done a cool like effect, a parallax effect, where it's got like definition of witch, definition of burn, which obviously we know, but it's quite a nice little touch. So it'd be interesting to see what they do.
Is it healing water or healing sauce? Because I think witch is meant.
Oh yeah,
on the website. I was reading it today when you kind of give us the heads up we're going to be discussing it. Which thank God, because I actually don't know anything really much about Witchburn. But
oh my God, yeah. I didn't get it. I didn't get sent that.
Did you not get the memo?
No, I was too busy preparing your balloons, I'm afraid to say, Jenny.
But on the website, it's it looks at the old word for witch, and it's more like a healer, and then second word being more like for, I think it was water or lake, and it's just it's a nice way of doing it as well. It kind of and almost it sets them up for, I think, quite nicely as well.
Yeah, Jimmy Leg, 100 Campbeltown distilleries diluted it down, 4 or 5 won't. Do we think, like, because I'm sure, I don't know how much light you can share on this, Jenny, but I'm surely like the casks, to get like bourbon casks is an awful lot more expensive. To get like run a distillery with the electricity is now an awful lot more expensive, and it's jumped in the last 4 or 5 years. Would that surely be sustainable for a new distillery to face that brunt financially head on?
Oh, do you know, that it's the one thing that we discuss a lot in the team is how, if you open a new distillery, how would you fund it? Because it's tricky, because you're going to need a big, deep pocket to fund it. I mean, you could go down to gin, vodka route, but I think that's been done. It is. I don't want to put a downer on it, but we have spoken about it in our team, and what could happen, I suppose, potentially moving forward, is that there'll be mergers happening, and maybe not maybe not bigger companies taking over smaller companies. Maybe there'll be more of a merger going on where they have to work together. I don't know. It's difficult because it is expensive. So I can remember, in fact, I think it was Kilkerran. I did work in production 2 weeks in Kilkerran. In fact, I've probably made some of the whiskeys we're drinking, but let's not let that put us off it. The bourbon barrel, I remember at that point, was 85 pounds, and that would have been 2010, 11, maybe 12. And now I think they are now near 400.
Oh, geez.
200.
But the sherry barrels were just double, I think, or were they maybe 400? I can't remember. They were quite expensive always, but now they've tripled in price as well. It's insane. And the price of and the electricity has gone up, obviously, but or energy, but a lot of distilleries can make do with solar panels and hydro, and that there is options out there. Wind, I mean, Campbeltown is known for their wind harnessing and wave harnessing, but I do find there is something in the back of my mind, as much as I want to celebrate, and I think Campbeltown can definitely take another 3, 4, 5 distilleries for sure. They need more hotels and beds, but that will come. But what I do find worrying is how many will ride the storm.
Yeah.
The first 10 years. The first 10 years are the most. Like Alex Bruce, our managing director, only just started breathing now. We're turning 10 in July. It's been like walking around not breathing. It is true though. It's tricky. It's hard.
It must be so difficult to go into a bank and say, I need a loan. What for? Oh, I'm going to make whiskey at the distillery. What do you need? Oh, just give me 10 million for talking. Say, oh, when will I get it back? Probably maybe start getting profit in 13 years because we need to do X, Y, Z. We'll start building and we'll end up pulling up things we shouldn't. And you go, like Brookladdy, I think they had the geese and all that, and they were like, so there's just things that you would never ever comprehend that will come into play. And I think that's gin I think is just plateaued completely. That distilleries you're seeing just now that aren't even speaking about we're going to do gin or we're going to do this. They're just going head in. And the only thing is, with these 3 distilleries going to be opening in Campbeltown, that they're not too far apart as well. It's not as if they're 5-10 years apart. They're going to be
within a year.
And it's not, and I think whiskey is one of these things for me that it's not a competition thing. Like, you're not saying we're better than them. It's like it's very subjective to what you like, and they will probably help each other to like, what are you doing? How are you surviving with this? How are you surviving that? Where are you going? And they're probably knocking each other's doors potentially. And then once they start getting themselves up and running, you know, they'll start building. But as you say, someone might come along thinking you're doing a great job.
Do you remember?
And buy you out. And
was it Rossi that did the While You Wait?
While we wait. Yeah.
While We Wait, sorry.
And
that became really. But that's something that we're noticing. People are approaching us to buy our new make and to mature themselves and have it as their spirit. But that would be an income stream for them. Selling private cask is another income stream, but that's going to be a nightmare down the line. So it's difficult. It's not something for the lighthearted. The other thing, it's the markets are changing a lot, not just politically, but also politically. COVID changed how we buy our whiskey. We've had to learn. I mean, we launched mid-pandemic, so we've kind of gone with the new. This is how we are going to sell our whiskey, how we're doing it. But a lot of older distilleries had to change the way they look at the whiskey sales.
I thought it was interesting when I was looking at the site, and obviously they've done so many renders, but there's a lot of photography of them actually building things from scratch, which I thought was bold. It's like, because it feels like, I mean, I don't know the numbers or how new modern distilleries have worked, but it's my understanding that a lot of it is secondhand stuff, like even like the pot stills people have bought old stills, but to do everything from scratch and then have to wait so many years for it to turn a profit, and it probably even longer to pay off.
Interesting, because Campbeltown was we have talked about it, such a heavily distillery populated area, but they all got turned into factories or bus stops, or I think one is at Tesco's, and you know, it's just turned into something else and being torn down and repurposed. Kilkerran was actually operating as a shooting range and a grain store, and it had all sorts of things. Do you know, 20 years ago when they went in there to rebuild Glengyle not from scratch because the walls were there, but they more or less gutted it to start again. They were knee deep in pigeon poop.
Oh, jeez.
and Frank McCarty, I don't know if you know of him, but he was the production manager at the time. Kilkerran is more or less his baby. He designed the way it was laid out. He saw an opportunity because there's something in pigeon poo that is good for fertilizing, and he managed to sell pigeon poo to start off.
So they were using the pigeon to fertilize it and for the shooting
only
range.
in Scotland. Only in Scotland.
Yeah.
A man can sell. If he can sell pigeon poo, he can sell anything. That guy.
Have visions of a man going over a malting floor, just squeezing a pigeon as they go along.
I don't know how well it took off, but there was definitely plenty of pigeon poo to go around for all the farmers if they needed it.
And this is where the Campbeltown funk comes from.
This is the secret.
Mystery solved.
We all know the secret sauce.
I've just poured another.
Oh wow!
There.
Look at that.
So
that colour's amazing.
This is the. Oh goodness, where is it? My light. Last year, 2023, August 2023.
Here, have my glasses, Kevin.
I need them. This was Drew from Arizona. Helped me get this, so a big thank you to Drew for that.
Is that a 15?
That's a 15, yeah. It was. Yeah. I walked into the Scottish gantry, and it was just sitting there, and I was like, "Why has no one bought that?" And they're like, "I don't know." And I went, "Great, I'll have it." That was because it's just a total luck thing now to find, especially older, because it's a fight for people, and you wonder how many Springbanks, say 18 or over or 15 and over, are actually open in the world compared to open. Don't even start it.
When I was in sales for Springbank, it was actually Kilkerran, I think I was selling for. I was in America on a trip, and you get driven around by the sales rep and you visit all these shops in the middle of nowhere, and you go in and they have no idea who you are. They don't know anything about Campbeltown or Springbank. You're just like the booze on their shelf. Those kind of shops have the dusty shelves at the bottom where you find those really old dark Hazelburns that were released once upon a time, and they're there for like what, $30. I mean, I haven't been on a trip like that for a while now, but I remember coming home with more whiskey than I
An
brought
extra
with me.
suitcase, walking back like Mr. Bean through the
Yeah.
turnstiles.
Yeah. Oh, that happens every now and again where you go into these like really eerie shops and they just don't have a clue and they don't care.
It's so bizarre because it's when there's a passion like everyone in this community has, and you see something there, you walk in and you see it and you're like, right, cool, don't say anything silly, and just you get it, and as if they'll sell you anyway, but you still walk up and go, is that a bank spring of that place? And you make an absolute pig's ear and you get it, and it's just, you're nervous. I remember getting that and I walked home quicker than I'd usually walk home, so I had to open it. I was so excited because I get to try 15s at a bar or at a tasting now and then, but to have your own, it was, and again, that's the rarity of Campbeltown, and it's amazingly frustrating. Like, it's amazing that it's got that pull, but it's frustrating because I like to open it in.
I will, I mean, caveat that because somebody's asked, Kyle Taylor is asking, is that still the case? Is that 2 or 3 years ago, maybe? Well, that was actually 10 years ago, probably 12 years ago. Yeah. So listen, I don't know anymore. But even back then, because even though I was working with Springbank, I was a big Springbank fan. And I remember finding those Hazelburns for a really decent price there. And it made my trip. Don't know if these places still exist.
Even when you were in the States and you asked them in the shops about Springbank, were they like, oh, cool, and that was it? Like, as if we don't know what it is and we continue to not know what it is? Or were they quite willing to be like, well, we have something special in our hands?
I don't, I mean, that trip specific that stands out in my mind they were just, some shops we went into, they weren't interested. And back then, it's hard to imagine now. I have been out of the Springbank loop. I mean, I obviously am aware of what's going on, and I know the people that work there still, and I'm in touch with them. But as a punter to buying the stuff, I haven't done that in many years now. But I do remember having to convince people to buy Springbank and having to tell them that they needed to buy this whiskey. I remember being in a shop in Los Angeles and just banging my head against the wall because we had just been published in the Whiskey Advocate, or in a big whiskey magazine in America, and the guy was just like, nah, he didn't like our bottle. We did the work in progress ones, and it was the green one, which was bourbon matured and sherry matured. And he was like, nah, I don't like it. And it's like one best whiskey of, and it was like a 6-year-old writing off. And back then, that was hard to sell something that wasn't wasn't 18 or whatever. But no, not having it. And actually, I'm sure they won't mind me going into the, but I was the sole person that looked after sales for Kilkerran for a while. And we decided to take Kilkerran away from the Springbank distribution or continue with the distributors with Springbank for a bit. But at the point of age 10, the distributors that weren't showing Kilkerran enough love, because there were distributors in the world that weren't that keen on Kilkerran, they almost had to bribe them to buy it. And I can remember that feeling of just going, I love Kilkerran since the first time I tried it. I knew how good a whiskey was. All they wanted was Springbank. They barely even wanted Hazelburn and Longrow. It was just Springbank. And how that's changed now, how Kilkerran has just become its own, and now it's having the same fame, I suppose. But yeah, that was in 2010 to about 2013. You almost had to, you had to convince people to buy it. And I actually had to let a few importers go because they weren't paying any love to Kilkerran.
Yes, we kind of want to go back to those times, really, where you can get Kilkerran.
I mean, when the 16-year-old was first released over here in Belgium and probably the Netherlands as well, it was well over 100 euros. It was 120, 130 euros. So much so that they were asking too much, and the price has since dropped for the more recent batches, and it's now 85, 90 or thereabout. So much more reasonable and more in line with what you're paying in the UK. But it goes to show, that things have changed indeed.
Be interesting to see how, because they have still quite limited production time, don't they? is it like 3 months or something of the year?
September to December or something. Yeah.
So it's still lingering in shops. So it'd be interesting when if they ever do go full production, how that'll change things. Either maybe it'll get into people's hands more, or people become more aware of it because it has a broader distribution. But hopefully,
well, I think they'll be fine. I honestly, I know that they have to. I mean, this is it's really ridiculous. But they have to allocate. Like they might have, I don't know how many markets they have across the world, and I would say they have 50 markets across the world. It's not a question of them saying, okay, we've just released a product, how much do you want? They'll say, we've got Kilkerran 12, 16, whatever, you're getting, and then a number of cases. So they will get to a point where they can actually say, well, how much do you want? And then start opening other markets, maybe, I don't know, because they are not looking at opening other markets now. That's no point. There's no point in that.
They're just, we when I worked in the shop and I dealt with bringing in the whiskies and dealing with allocations, Springbank, it was always the case, and it's nothing to do with them. Everyone wanted, can we get the 21? Can we get the 30s? And they were like, no, because we did a lot of tastings with them and we support them, we would get one of the 21.
Yeah.
Because again, there's not much of it. And as you say about all your markets, it's not as if someone else is getting 50 bottles. They would maybe get 3. Like, it was such a small allocation. Even the 10s, and for instance, and stuff as well, we would maybe get 2 cases if we could. You would phone them back. Can we get more? No. Like, you need to wait for the next outrun. And it's not a case of they were being rude and obnoxious. It was like, we have to be fair to everyone. And that's what they were doing. You always feel like, well, we support you, we should get more. We've got 3 stores open now. And it's like, yeah, we get that. You could have 300 stores open, but it doesn't change their allocation as much because they want it out in the world. And I think their ethos is very good in the sense that we don't want just a one trip to go, oh, you pay us the most, we'll just give you the most. They don't listen to that at all. They're totally out for the consumer, I think. And
absolutely, that's the pricing will show you that as well. And the way they treat their importers or their partners across the world is like, if you support them, they'll support you. It's easy, you know. Like you said, because you've not just got the Kilkerran and the Longrow, Hazelburn, and Springbank, you've got the Cadenhead brand there as well, but some of also to some extent exported like that. So I think and Campbeltown Lock, which was Campbeltown Lock at one point was a lock. Like, there was so much of it, and they almost had to use that and say, look, you will get a case of 18-year-old Springbank, but you need to buy X amount of Campbeltown Lock. And then it's a difficult position to be in. And also at one point, I remember working, actually, because Springbank was my first ever job in industry, right? And I didn't understand, I mean, the hype wasn't as big then as it is now, but it was still a very popular whiskey, obviously. But we didn't have any 21-year-old whiskey. In fact, the year I was there, we just released our first 18-year-old after a few years because we didn't have any stock. And the 18-year-old coming out was such a big deal. And Frank was elated, and all the management were just delighted because it'd been so long since the last time. And I didn't understand the value of that then. And then I was there when the first 21-year-old came out. And since I've left, obviously, you've got the older whiskies coming out, and you've got the Longrows and the Hazelburns turning of age as well. So it's been quite nice to follow that part from the outside, actually. But being in the middle of it, I did not appreciate how scarce it was, and what a draw that those aged whiskey could have to the markets. Sorry, I'm just blathering here.
No, it's brilliant. I was for a second, I forgot I was hosting a stream, and I was just like listening in. I was like, oh, I've got to be doing things, don't I? Ryan mentioned, I think he's gone to bed now, so good night. Thank you for popping in. So he says new make is definitely the new way to go forward beyond selling gin. I completely agree, and I was going to mention the Cotswolds. So obviously that's one of my nearest distilleries down here, and their new make is fantastic. It's like fizzy bananas. And I have seen Whiskey Lock said, where is it? Apparently that they've discontinued it now. So they called it White Pheasant instead of like White Dog. Huge potential as a category. White Goose. When I have my own distillery, will be White Goose, and I'll send you all a sample.
I hope you do. Jeff, I should show you that. It's a magnetic goose that holds pens.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever needed anything more than I need that goose. I'm
Can it
sure.
hold you need to get it to hold a miniature.
Did
I
you
know,
buy that
that's-
purposely?
This, I think I did. I got it for Hillary because it was funny.
Yes.
And that's her work pen that sits on there. So it eats pens. I need to find something whiskey related that I can stick to it. But Jeff, I'll send you a link because that's right up your street.
It is strange how that was with you on the last stream. I think we were together, Jenny, wasn't it? The goose kind of appeared.
Yes.
And it's well and truly become, where is it? There's the coaster. I've got
An
one.
urban legend.
A
Yes.
mainstay. Oh,
Love it.
collection. One of these is on the way to you, Jenny, and everyone tonight. If you've not got one,
It's like
let me
being on the
know.
Oprah Winfrey show. Not that I've ever been at. Look under your chair.
You get a little coaster. It's not quite the same effect as a car, is it? I've also seen work. Whoever you are, thank you ever so much. Remarkably generous. That is.
Is that the second time?
Yeah.
That's the second
Yeah.
time. So as
Oh my God.
lovelyly pointed out by let's see if I can find the comment
That's
of
amazing.
that work is double fisted.
Don't spend it all on Dalmore 18. Yeah.
It has been double fisted by work, and I couldn't be more pleased. Thank you so much for your kindness, and that will be going
Bloody
into. I've got some bottles on my list, so I'm very fortunate. Once YouTube takes their cut, I'll send everyone because I'm sure that's more for you wonderful guests than it is for me. So I'll make sure you'll get a nice coaster.
You go and buy yourself a goose farm, buddy. I'm fine.
I have always wanted a goose because they're the most ridiculous, aggressive animals.
Oh, I'm so scared.
It's the way they run. They're hilarious. The way they run when they're mad, they're just neck down and like, I'm after you.
So people have come for the whiskey talk, but they're staying for the goose chat.
I mean, you could
It's
have
weird,
goose,
like,
geese
it's weird.
guard your distillery. They're guard dogs.
So one of the things as well, if you've
They're
ever noticed,
working.
and this is it's kind of going off topic to the kind of back to if we go double fisting territory of smut. But if you look at Campbeltown itself, Campbeltown is the Bobby
here we go.
of Scotland, isn't it? It's a flaccid Bobby. Right,
Yes,
it's a-
oh God,
if you
yeah.
look at it on a map, it's just,
I
and
mean,
that's where the best whiskey's made.
and
What does it say
you've
about
got
Aaron?
Chris Aaron, yeah, exactly. They did say
The
that.
balls.
Once again, the tone
Here.
has been well and truly lowered.
Talking of mispronunciation, again, being out doing tastings, Springbank is one of those distilleries that you'd think you can pronounce. Springbank.
Yeah.
Well, I was doing a tasting in Germany, and this man said, "Do you know that you're pronouncing Springbank completely wrong?" I said, "Come on, I live there. What are you talking about?" And he came up and he took the microphone because I was holding a mic, and he said, "It's not Springbank, it's Springbank," and he's right. If you've ever been to Campbeltown, they talk with the singy-songy voice. It is Springbank, and it is post office, and it's not Campbeltown. It's Campbelton. It's Campbelton. So
It's like
you have to say
Oh,
Campbelton.
wow.
That we sing it. It's like Isla. Hello,
I
welcome
love
to
Isle
Isla.
accent.
Yes.
Le.
That's
They
fantastic.
don't say that, they say le. Welcome to Isla.
Yeah.
How are you doing? It's amazing accent.
It is fantastic.
For some reason, like when you go Campbeltown Island thing, the friendliest people, and they must get the same chat and patter all the time from tourism going, we love it here, this is the best whiskey, and they never ever seem to like break character. It's not even breaking character, breaking their own personalities to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I've
you
heard that
see
one
what you get.
before. It's like they're just so excited as well, and it's that I think that makes it so much better because they know people are excited to go to Campbeltown. They know like people are coming here. A lot of time it's their first time as well. You know, people are coming over for that kind of whiskey trip of a lifetime, and it's go to Campbeltown and then go to Isla or vice versa, and it's excitement. And I think that just totally projects how that little town can do. And as you say, more hotels and things there where people can stay for that little bit longer. And I stayed in a hotel before, and I'm pretty sure it should have been in a museum where whatever
Yeah.
I stayed in. I might have been part of
Oh,
a
yeah.
museum when I was sleeping. I don't know, but it was
Faulty
horrible. And it was, but again, that's the experience. Maybe faulty towers more than Alton Towers. It was an absolute experience, and it was a one night.
I would camp in Campbeltown, even if just have a bridge instead of a hotel to save the 3 hours up and down.
I
Just
know.
like, or a ferry or something to nip across.
They used to have a ferry that went via Arran, but that's
Oh, did they?
obviously stopped. Yeah, it's
Have
stopped.
a nice little stop off.
Do you know that people from Isla go to Campbeltown? Do you know when they go to Campbeltown?
Oh, Pagil.
Put in?
The Fishion sell their house for a week.
They go to Campbeltown when they go to court. And that is usually, and when I was living there, it was on a Thursday, and you'd see all these suited youngsters waiting for the court hearing. And back then we had an office at Patty's on the Long Row Street, and that's changed now. They've moved offices. And you'd see people coming in, going to court, and I think it was a Thursday the hearings were. Yeah.
So people got arrested on Isla. They had to make sure they'd done it at the right time to make sure the boats were on. So if it was bad weather, they couldn't. You could only be held for like 24 hours in custody. So if they picked them up and it was absolutely teeing it down, rain, hail, everything, the boats weren't on, they would just have to like put them back. Like, we'll get you tomorrow, son. Don't you worry. You'll be on that boat tomorrow.
It's a nice little island.
Imagine that. Imagine you're hungover and you've done something silly and you get arrested on island. It's like, right, we need to take you to Campbeltown. You're like, sorry, what? I need to go on a boat. That would just be the most bizarre. And then they drop you off and say you get your own way home. Like, this is insane. But that's a good way. Like, getting dropped from one whiskey island to another amazing part of the whiskey world is not, from one spot to another.
Let's not encourage criminal behaviour, especially not if you work for the police force. Maybe, I don't know.
I'm not saying that. It's just more of an educational purpose of.
No, you're right.
It feels like we're planning a heist.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We'll hit all the distilleries in one night.
Yeah.
That's like the Italian job, but it's going to be the West Coast of Scotland job.
But it's funny because when I was obviously like the Swedish girl working there, and everything they told me I believed naively, and they could tell me anything, and they have done. I believed so much rubbish, but anyway, so that bit I thought was a bit of a joke, but I kind of kept it in the back of my mind. And I'm doing this whiskey show in Belgium. Hey, Menno, I was in Belgium, and I was doing a whiskey show, and the girl from Burkladik said, "Oh, hi, I can't see you live in Campbeltown." I can't do the accent, and I says, "Yeah, I do." She says, "I've been once or twice." To court, like, well, she's not Irish, but so it was true. I've had it verified.
Well, on this prisoner subject, does anyone fancy a quick game of guess the bottle, which
Absolutely.
is a case of
hell yeah,
because this can get quite raucous.
What?
It's a picture. So what I've got is an image of a bottle that's really zoomed in and blurry, and then each photo it gets further away and a bit clearer. So because there's a lot of us, we get one guess, not me because I've got an advantage, but we get one guess on what the bottle is, and I'll pick people's names and work in an order so it's a bit fair for everyone.
Well,
Does that
Rob
sound
sent
okay?
the answers to this because he seems to know what's going on.
Rob's very calm there, isn't he? He's like, yeah, I'm up for
Yeah,
this.
crack on.
You can pay me in that goose magnet pen holder later.
I'm going to hold a lucky goose for this, in fact.
All right, is everyone ready for guess the bottle?
What is going on?
I'll give you all the answers for the goose. Imagine if Roy tunes in now. It's like shows everyone at the festival. Oh, look, this is what I do as a job, and it's just Kevin stroking a goose. Right, so everyone gets one guess, and I'm going to pick people kind of randomly to give everyone a chance. So you got one chance to say the bottle. Can't be just a distillery.
Oh,
Can I ask something first for the rules, just to clarify?
Yeah.
See if you think you know it straight off the bat. Can you just like raise your hand or something to put yourself right in there if you know it?
I think we can, but as we learned from the bottle slap, we have different speeds for internet here. So, right, we'll see how this one goes. This could be the test run. So okay, if you put your hand up, I'll pick you, but I'll give a couple seconds to allow time for the people watching this, because there is people watching us. I don't know if we've forgot. Well, I've got people outside in the hedge, but that's different.
It's best not to think about it, Jenny.
This is not being recorded.
What?
Right. Image number one. Ooh. No hands shooting up just yet.
A pint of Tenants.
In my head, there is, because I kind of got this, like, I have to put my hand up now because I have no idea. But
Anyone going to go for a guess, or is everyone ready for the next one?
Next.
is it a Campbeltown whiskey? Can we guess a little bit like that?
I'm not going to give any clues. I'm going to be
Yeah.
really mean. I
Roy-
did this with
Roy
Vin.
would.
Yeah, Roy's not here tonight.
Yeah,
You can
pressure,
tell he's not
pressure.
here. So some people sharing guesses. So we've got Andrew Pears with Glen Scotia Double Cask, and Danny Hepton going with Springbank 21. So we're going to go for image number 2. Say what you see, buzzing. If you think you've got it.
Looks like it's a Springbank.
Is that an official guess, Rob? Do you want to go? Anyone want to put official guess in? If you're wrong, we just go to the next image. It's no problem. We got Kevin with a hand up.
Also, I don't get kicked out like in
Springbank 10. I'm going for.
Not Springbank 10.
Campbeltown. So
Anyone want to have another punt before we go to the next one? Right, next one. I was going to do the countdown music, but I couldn't work out how to get the audio for that.
just do happy
Right.
birthday.
Springbank.
Oh,
local barley.
Ah,
Oh,
9 years.
I didn't see any hand. Oh, we got one hand up, but I think everyone has got it. Jenny, would you like to have a guess?
well, I'd like to guess local barley.
Is that a particular distillery? Is
Yeah.
that Aaron Local Barley?
That's the Glen Goose of what was it? Bottle slapping. Yeah, Springbank local barley.
I think you are correct.
Nice.
Hey.
1 point.
Well, look,
Gerben got
somebody
it very
shouted out
quickly.
as well. I heard, but
Yeah, I think everyone knew what it was by that image.
It's just because
but
Jenny
I'll-
made that one. That's the only reason she knows that. She made that one.
I recognise that one.
Did people want to dive in straight away for the next round? I've got 4 lined up for the night. Does people want to do another round now? They got the feel of it.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Let's just
yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
I like it. Do it.
So everyone ready? Feel free to shout it out this time,
Okay.
Shout.
because I can't look at 2 things at once. My lazy eye may be on full form tonight, but it doesn't mean I can see both things. Right, number 1.
Ooh, that's a tricky one.
It's like a green bottle, but it's a green glass or a green label.
Aidenheads.
Fuck it. Victoriana.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a
man,
good
yo.
shout.
what a shout.
So, did you want to lock that? I don't know. Should we make it if you have a guess and you're
Yes.
confident in it? Did you want to lock it in so you can only do 1 guess per bottle, or is that too tough?
Yeah, because Menno
No,
always
no,
kills us on quizzes, so yes.
Right, so on
Agreed.
to the second one.
Brooklet,
Okay.
Port Charlotte.
Any particular bottle?
Then
So you're going to lock in that. So we've got Menno and Kevin from Let's Talk Whiskey locked in. Right. Oh, people are not going to see that. So image number 3, swiftly moving on.
Oh,
No, let's go back. Let's dissect that one.
To this one, yeah.
Need to get a screenshot.
That has to be the thumbnail for the YouTube.
This is a test to see if Roy watches.
Sorry,
It's
is
concerned-
that Roy without a beard?
yeah,
Shut the front door. He looks
Look at
100
him.
years old there.
that was when he started his pronunciation. That's when he done his pronunciation on YouTube. His very early days.
It's that all it took was a Google of Roy Aquavito, and that's what
Nice
came
one.
up. So who's still in play? Rob and Jenny. Any
Whiskey
guesses?
with Molly says that's an image from Jeff's OnlyFans page.
If you want to see more, subscribe.
Whiskey with Molly
Just-
must pay for that subscription, and if he
Yeah.
knows that.
It's
Yeah.
his request. It was.
I don't have any idea, but I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
The
me
little
neither.
white writing makes me think it is. Is it Port
careful now.
Charlotte?
Careful now.
Oh. Right, man,
Did
I
you
don't know now. Okay,
Right, we'll go
I'm
to the next
clicking on it.
one.
Oh, it's Port Charlotte 10.
Yeah.
I think this is the giveaways. Everyone happy that they've got
Yeah.
the answer?
Unless
No.
it's the 18 and he's I don't know, it's the 10.
That's the yellow.
That's a giveaway there.
Yeah.
I'll raise my goose up for that.
Yeah, so it's
Well
Port
done.
Charlotte 10.
Yeah.
Who was it? Who's Port Charlotte 10?
That was me.
That's right.
Kev
Well
Stir.
done, Kev.
Me and the
So-
Lucy Goosey. Me, Lucy.
Now, did we want to save the other two and come to them later, or are you enjoying this role?
I'm actually yawning. Well, sorry. I love it.
It's
I'm
great.
actually-
We've got 2 less, so Jenny and I have got a chance still.
I made sure there was enough for one for per person.
Not gonna happen.
That's happened.
I've just had, did you pull those off Tinder? No comment.
Do you think he's actually watching? Has anybody seen him in the chat? I don't think so.
I think he'll be wise not to be.
If he was having a 1973, what was he having there?
What was he having?
Highland Park, I think it was. They shouted. I don't think I'd be watching, and that's not.
No.
But, I'd be facing on a 1973 Highland Park. That guy just gave him it and went to the toilet. I don't know who that was, unfortunately. Probably someone from the community, but he just handed that to Roy and Sebi and went to the toilet and left it unattended. So that would have came back. He would have came back and that was spilled on the floor, unfortunately.
It's good he did that in that order. It's good he gave him the drink, then went to the toilet. The other way round.
I'll try this, guys. This is,
People are commenting about this not being Campbeltown, but they've clearly not listened because it's Isla, and people in Isla go to Campbeltown to go to court. So there is a link.
Okay, there's less of a link for the next one. I thought it'd be too easy if it was all Campbeltown, and it was really hard. That was a good cork pop.
Was it good?
It anyone
who's got cork pop on their bingo card, there you go.
I forgot.
Wait a minute, actually, it's like this whiskey's really dirty, musty, earthy, tangy, and juicy.
With a bit of fun to it.
I didn't think people would take bingo that seriously and have to cheat.
For the first half of the stream, I've been struggling to concentrate because I keep peeking back at my bingo card.
I've generally not looked at it, so if I've said things or I need to say something, I'll accept payment in whiskey for if you win someone bingo. Like if anyone has something I need to say, I'll do it.
Yeah, put in the chat what word you need and we'll say it.
This is taking a strange turn. The cream really has taken a strange turn, hasn't it? So we can either do another round of guess the bottle, or we can talk about branding. Anyone have a preference?
Do branding and we'll go back to the finale of it. I think it'll be a good suspense.
I want to do bottle guess.
I feel like Jenny's quite competitive. I don't know if anyone else is getting that.
I'm working whiskey branding. Yeah, and it's my birthday, and it's like 11 o'clock at night.
Right there. Does anyone have Jenny says it's her birthday on their bingo card?
Wait, where are my toys? I'm just going to chuck them around.
Wait there, everyone. Wait there.
I am actually a little bit starstruck. Do I and Julie have the same birthday, do you think?
Apparently.
It's a good birthday to have.
Or does she have the same birthday as you?
Yeah, no, this could be it. Mm-hmm.
Let's look at it two ways here.
Yes, that's it. The neighbors, the daughter next door, she's a primary school girl. She gave me a card that said, I'm not being cheeky, but if you were a whiskey, you'd be really expensive. Oh, yeah.
That's ace.
That's a good card.
As a mum and dad still at home as well, I take it. That's dad going, go and send that through and she might give me a cool whiskey for being a bit cheesy. That's an absolute, they know what you do and he's someone that family's gunning for a nice bottle of whiskey. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. That's good marketing from their side, to be fair.
Yeah. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
This is signed by Jeff at the bottom. Heavy.
It's a bit.
Okay, this is a good. Oh, we're going to guess the logo. This will be a good game. Have you made a guess the logo game, Jeff?
I did. I made your bingo. That's enough. Anyone think it's your birthday?
She's cashing in her birthday wishes.
Yeah. That'll be the next stream. I did originally when Roy mentioned vPub, and I didn't read the whole message, and I thought, I could talk about branding the entire night. I didn't think people would be up for it, and then it was Campbeltown. It's like, better give the people what they want. Next time there's a vPub and it's branding, I'll do a logo quiz because I love them. But I think it'd be too easy in the whiskey world. Like we all know what this is. It's quite a giveaway.
It says it right there.
Yeah. I'm just going to quickly fly through the list. I've got images for each distillery. So you got Glen Scotia, Springbank, Kilkerran, which is not the official Kilkerran because I've seen this is slanted. So I don't know where this images come from. Hazelburn, Longrow, and then I've also included Witchburn. So the question is, I'll go down in order which I can see in the camera. Rob, what would you say is the best Campbeltown logo?
I mean, I feel like I've already outlined my bias for Campbeltown whiskies, but it has to be Kilkerran because it's the only logo you can see in real life. And that is just I mean, it's not. It is framed, isn't it? When you go around the tour, when you go around by the wall outside, but it is very cool, and especially when you drive in and you see the tower in the middle of the town, it's instantly recognizable. So, yeah, has to be
one vote for Kilkerran. Just for the record, I can't guarantee they'll send you a hoodie.
Yeah, really late on it.
All right, next, Menno. Power's all yours. Which one would you pick?
I think I would agree with Rob, but also I kind of like how the Witchburn logo sort of resembles a witch's head as well as it being a pot still. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, you can't argue with Rob, so I'll go with Kilkerran as well.
Okay, and I completely agree. Witchburn is a very good marketing move because I think lots of people wouldn't even see the whiskey connection at first. And it would just be, it's done. The font below does annoy me, the handwritten font a little bit, but it's legible, which is the main thing. Kevin, are you ready? We've got 2 for Kilkerran. Are you going to buck the trend or are you going to follow the herd?
I am my own lone goose here. I like how, like, if you look at everything, it's all black and white, bar Glen Scotia, but Springbank with that S is so prominent, but I've always enjoyed Longrow. I don't know what it is with the writing. I've always loved the Longrow red, and I like how signatures and things make the circle round, if that makes sense. So Longrow for me has that kind of just pull. It's just a kind of classic thing for me. I would say Springbank just because I know it, but I don't want to go that way. It's what I like the best, and out of these 6 here is Longrow. For some reason, it just kind of, I just like it. I think it looks good on a top and things as well, and it's classically easy to look at.
Longrow is definitely my second choice.
Where you say it looked good on a top, are you trying to edge your way in to get a hoodie as well?
Yeah, I was hoping to see in the background when Roy was flying about that room if somebody had a Longrow top on. I was trying to look through and see, but I never seen one. But Longrow for me, that would be my pick out of the 6. It's close between that and the Springbank, just for the kind of classic look of things.
And that was your second pick, Rob. You would say Longrow.
Yeah, but I just noticed. I was seeing all these together. The single malt bit underneath Hazelburn matches the Campbeltown M in Kilkerran. So it's nice to kind of.
Can I tell you about that?
Please do.
So you, this is really fascinating. Like, again, it's probably changed in the last 10 years since I've been there, but it hadn't changed in the years before I was there. There was a man in East Lothian, and I don't know if he's still with us, but he was, he's an artist, and he drew in fact, could you put the logos back up there? Yeah. He hand drew all the Longrow, the Hazelburn, the Springbank, and the Kilkerran. They're all hand drawn by this man. And when I was taking Kilkerran so it turned 10 in 2014, and we were going global, and he hand wrote the Kilkerran font. He made that himself. He hand drew the whole alphabet in that font, so we could make posters and so we could do things. But it was a bit of a nightmare because he works with pen and paper. He doesn't work digitally, or he didn't. That's probably changed now. But the reason it's wonky is probably because it's one of the original ones that he's drawn by hand, and they're still available everywhere. And I don't know if he's still involved in drawing these things, but he was very, very heavily involved in drawing all the letters, everything that you see on the old styled Springbanks, and I'm going to just bring this up. The Springbank, everything was to do with him, and his name has just escaped me. It's probably my age, but it's all hand drawn by this one man in East Lothian, and He was incredibly talented. So the M in Kilkerran Campbeltown and the Hazelburn M, he's obviously decided that he's going to save himself an M there. But the Springbank he also did Springbank letters in the alphabet, and they're very they stand out. They're really striking letters. I love the way that Springbank is written. Springbank is such a clean, cool, classy logo. But I love it's all about we all love whiskey for the memories it gives us. And I have to say, standing in that and looking through that window in Glengyle Distillery, and you see that church tower in winter, summer, spring. In fact, it's harder to see in the summer because the trees grow up behind the window. They have to cut them down to make sure the view is still there. It's just stunning. It just brings the sort of that brings you there. It sort of takes you to the place.
It's funny you say that because I have a similar thing with Springbank as well. Just thinking about it, going for the first time. I love the fact they've used the S and the P in the Springbank logo on the salt and pepper shakers in the cafe.
Yeah.
And that always brings me back.
Yeah, because they're so recognizable. It's really...
Were you able to get your font when you signed your emails in the Springbank font? Then when you signed out on your holidays, not here, on vacation, and it was, you can go down Roman italics, was it like Springbank font? And you were able to just pick that. That's quality.
Yeah, it was. I've been. His house was a museum to all the labels that he created for Cadenheads and Springbank, and then Hazelburn, Longrow were new brands when I was there. So, and Kilkerran was even newer. No, it's how they work. They appreciate the traditional methods. So,
I mean, could you get any more craft than have
pen
and paper? It's fantastic.
That really resembles Springbank, doesn't it? That sums up the whole doing things traditionally properly.
Yeah.
Oh, see, would you say Springbank's your winner then, Jenny?
Yeah, I mean, I am so partial to Kilkerran. Absolutely love it. In fact, I have my business card and my name in that font, Kilkerran font. I love it. But I like Springbank. There's something, I'm Swedish, there's something Viking-esque about it as well. I like it. It's strong. It sends a strong message.
What are you, Jeff? What is you as your design loving self? Are you going to pick?
It's tricky. So I love Kilkerran and I love line art and all that lot. The only thing is, as a dyslexic, it's very hard to read the long line of capital letters with each thing. So it does kind of knock it down a bit, but
that's interesting.
Yeah, so even I can recognize Kilkerran by the image, but I have to focus. Like, you got the writing down the sides on a Kilkerran bottle. Like, oh, you can't see that on this camera, but down there, that's a struggle for me to read.
Oh, okay.
And it's because they've got a lot of the kerning's quite tight in places, like the letter spacing and like all the little flourishes also changes the shape of it. But it will be, I do like Witchburn, just how clean that is, but again, it's all capitals, which is why I like Longrow.
Oh yeah, it's nice flow.
The issue with Longrow is the R is a very classic calligraphy R, which I think a lot of people are no longer recognizing because calligraphy is quite.
That's him, yeah.
But as you can see, I could easily talk about fonts and design for a long time. But I would go Kilkerran. I do like Glen Scotia's monogram.
Yeah.
Give them a chance.
Really classy.
It's great to see on the side of the building as well when you go up to the distillery. It's such a strong looking thing. But I'm sorry, can we just go back? So Jenny, you've got the Kilkerran font. Are you?
I probably have it on a piece of paper, but I don't have it anymore in my computer. No. I will have it in a printed paper somewhere, I'm sure, but they will have it in Campbeltown. Yeah, they must still use it.
Yeah.
I'm going to email them so they email me back and just steal the email, write, copy and paste it, and figure it out. Send it to Jeff, and Jeff go and figure that out.
But that's how to do it. Get your own font. Don't just the new distilleries of Campbeltown. Don't just build a distillery. Make your own font.
We'll just ask him, can you send me an email with the alphabet, please? And then we'll send it to Jeff, and Jeff can do his thing. And we'll just sure he can figure out from there.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I have gone straight to the Springbank website, and I'm currently inspecting the code to see what the font is, to see if they've got a font. But unfortunately, they're using Libra Baskerville and Oswald, which are two web-safe fonts, which are quite boring.
Yeah,
So I was hoping it's going to.
Well, at least they're making things legible.
Yeah,
accessibility.
Gregor just popped in time for a dram, and he says Glen Scotia is the best here, classy and timeless.
Yeah, it is. I like the emblem. I think it's really classy.
I think I agree with Rob on the side of the building. It's just a cool, like, just because it's got a bit of colour as well, right? Just seeing that, and it's the circular shape compared to everything else, which is square. Especially with the Springbank and stuff. They're all good in their own right, and they kind of have to be different. And I think the fun thing, like Springbank, Hazelburn, and Longrow, they're all from the same place, right? But if you didn't know anything from whiskey, you think they were all completely from different houses. They've not just went, oh, Springbank peated, Springbank non-peated. They've given them their different names and made their own little designs, and on the bottles as well. Like, that's, you know, the difference. I've not got a Longrow here, but having the difference of exact same bottle shape and design, just a different sticker, right? Which is, it's pretty cool.
It's so recognizable when you arrive in Campbeltown and you see that, look down that little lane to your right. And you've got the three logos or the three names there. It's just really instantly recognizable. And I mean, yeah, that's what branding is all about.
I've never understood why Kilkerran put the Wallace Monument on it, though. That's my only thing.
The Big Ben, you know. Landon.
I wonder if they'd ever rebrand. Or well, at least update themselves, maybe.
Goodness me. Springbank rebranded themselves loads of times. Like, does the 20, I mean, that's the new 21-year-old, I suppose, but
they updated for the Jenny bottle to the new branding.
I know, I'm going to flash it.
Let's get Jenny bottle so we can all see that.
Yeah. Oh, talking of rebranding. Okay, I'm going to, but again, this must have been 20. Oh, that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah. I was going to try to zoom in to see your special Springbank.
Oh, I sorry, I just put that. Well, I can bring it up again later if people want to see it. When I think it must have been 2012, about then, Glen Scotia brought out a range. They changed the packaging, and it's probably the shortest packaging time ever. I think it lasted a year or a year and a half, and it was the Highland Cows. Really colorful packaging. Do you remember those?
Yeah, the disco cows. Yeah.
They were awful. Like, we were all laughing in the shop, in the cabinet shop, going, what are they thinking? I mean, it's a whole new team, whole new branding is completely changed, but they were pretty bad. I don't even know what they were trying to do with them, but they have since, obviously, their branding now and their packaging now is stunning, beautiful, lovely. But every now and again, there's a bleep in distilleries packaging. And I remember when this range came out with the simple collared sticker paper, people hated it because you remember what they used to look like. I'm trying to see.
I did like the old one with like the Springbank like repeated down the label.
Yeah,
that's how I knew it.
There when we put that in, and people didn't like it because they thought it was too modern. It was too Apple-y, like the Apple iPhone type of thing, because it was really clean. But we loved it. The idea came up from a fact packet. Basically, it was the back of a cigarette packet. And then these ones came around. But before then was the traditional, really like the whitewashed paper. They were really quite classic looking, and I quite like those. But it's a bit of fun. They're very passionate about design and thoughtful. Like, I know management at Springbank have always been into their design and how to make the most of what you can, like having that the fonts and the different logos. I spoke to you guys about it earlier, but I want to see if anybody in the chat remember these whiskies. I spoke about the Rundlets and Kilderkins. And they were my favorites when I was working at Springbank. I absolutely love this whiskey. If you get a chance to taste it, it's just like cake in a bottle.
Oh wow, what is that?
That Longrow one?
Oh no, this is the Springbank one.
Right.
And look at that label. So the guys in the bottling hall hand affixed all the labels.
That's stunning.
Absolutely stunning. Oh, How am I not?
Is that like a plastic kind of front, or is it still golden wrapped like paper?
It's plastic. There's a certain amount of. I think it's plastic. Actually, I was going to say,
but it's not a paper front anyway.
No, it is metallic.
Right. Okay. That's amazing. I love that.
And then they did the long row, which did it. So Springbank was gold. Long row was the bronze with the bronze box.
Oh, wow.
And they were just so rundlets and Kildickins is the old-fashioned name for basically octaves or small casks.
Mm.
So we just bottled what we had, and how beautiful is that?
That's
stunning.
That long row of logo looks fantastic in that. It
Doesn't
looks,
it?
yeah.
Long row could win it now.
Yeah.
That's old drawing. He drew that as well. And then the last one, which was in silver, is the Hazelburn. And again, where are we?
Look
there?
at that.
Oh,
I mean,
sorry.
talk about whiskey trophies. That is.
It's
They're
so
genuine
beautiful.
Yeah.
trophies. Gold, silver, bronze.
Okay, so there's 1,200 bottles. I just read the label properly. 9,000 of a Springbank, but I'm curious to see if anybody tried them.
9,000.
Yeah. So Springbank, Rundlets, and Kildickins, there were 9,000.
So it's a pretty healthy outturn then. It's not like it's a limited like single cast jobby. That's quite good.
For small cast, that's a big bunch, and that was worldwide. And I remember we had a meeting and somebody was arguing that the 10-year-old, the classic 10-year-old, was better than this. And I was like, no, it's not. but we obviously couldn't. This is not thinkable. Like you couldn't do small barrels or small casks. They Rundlets and Kildickins. That's where I saw it. Look, Rob, that's
See, I really like that, and I think it still feels classic. It's not like hyper modern like some of the new distilleries are doing or are trying to do, and it kind of it worries me. There's so many rebrands recently. Sorry, Jeff, I want to stick on this topic. Like,
I love it.
You and I, we could do this all day, but it's a shame how I feel like they're ruining the legacy for the sake of. So we spoke about this in the Dramface writers group before, and it feels like they've taken digital branding handbook and applied it to a physical object, like a printed object, and it's like you don't need to do that. You don't need to make it look like a website or branded like a digital product. It needs to be like everything in Campbeltown, or is mostly anyway, is all handwritten and all pen and paper, and that's fantastic. Like we always talk about craft and everything's been craft made and stuff, and how could you get more craft than actually just drawing it?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It's like there's so many distilleries as well changed. Like a few years ago, started with when you were buying your bottle, would you like the carton with it, or would you like the bottle on its own for the kind of sustainability? Then Bruichladdich were kind of one of the first, and now they've turned back and went. It seems like the new branding at first was like, well, what's going on? It's cool to look at and things, but it's a nightmare to work with. Like the glass top, and I get it's all about the recyclability and trying to keep that environment, but would you think just keeping it as the one bottle in itself and just ditch the box completely? Because at Ardnamurchan, we used not complete reusable boxes and things, and it was totally fully sustainable without, well, the cork was probably the only thing. But there's so many, that's why the new distilleries to an extent have that little step ahead for their branding to go, we can save money by just ditching the box, because we can see the trend of the bottle can be cool and the box can be different, or the other way around. It's like, well, save money by just putting bottles out. Let's make the bottles look fun. Thompson Brothers is always used the Thompson Brothers. They look fun and funky, like people see them straight away. But sometimes you can see a really cool box, you can open it and go, oh. So it's trying to find the balance of your branding to find, no, our box makes our branding. Like there was the Tullabarden, they used to do the Murray every year, and they had this, the only thing they done was a really cool box that opened outwards, and it was like £55 cast strength Tullabarden. It was good whiskey. It wasn't absolutely amazing, but it was good whiskey. But their branding was the box, and people bought it for, wow, that's a really cool box. Because it opened, you didn't take it out the top. It was like a wee, French doors, you opened out the way. So people bought it for that. And you think if they changed their brand into just that bottle, people would look at it now from previously buying it going, oh, it doesn't look good anymore. It's not a good gift. How do you change that?
Do you know what made me think? So, you know, Ardbeg, like their 10-year-old is always like their bottle is the same and their 10-year-old is the same, but they've played with the boxes in different shapes and stuff.
Yeah,
I love
the tin
that.
is fantastic. The tin is so good.
You see it in so many bars, don't you? Like just sitting there because it's a cool eye catcher as well.
Great for pens and pasta, but also nice. Yeah.
I think it's interesting how I think it gets said so often on Whiskey Chew how what is said on the box should mirror what's on the bottle. And I think obviously there's so much more real estate on the box that they can get away with saying more and have a lot of marketing fluff and stuff. But we want to know like the big ones of like non-chill filtered, natural color, and whatever. I wonder how many new distilleries are going to try and keep with that and put that on and like use some of that valuable space, which you can argue it is valuable, especially if they are going to use just the bottle.
I'm giggling because, sorry.
No, go for it. Go.
No, because we are one of those, like, and I work for Ardnamurchan, and we're one of those new distilleries. And when our first release of McLean's Nose, I don't know if you're aware of this, but if you get your hands on one of those bottles, they're probably worth loads now because we didn't have non-chill filtered on there, or unchill filtered, and no colouring. And do you know who told us off about that? Roy. Roy was like, come on, guys, you need to put that on there because everybody thinks now that you are doing it, even though we know you're not. So we were like, oh, good point. So the next release, I'll have the information about the chill filtration, non-chill filtration, and the no colouring. But it's like our whole thing is that we use a glass bottle that has a very high recyclable content. The labels are made from old barley pulp, and it's there is so much you can do these days, like, and the new distilleries can embrace that. There's so much out there. I hope they do invest a bit of time in that, and there's plenty of grants for that kind of thing as well. Like your local governments and they will be happy to support you if you try new techniques. Sustainable, exactly.
Well, I mean, it's interesting you say like different techniques, and obviously you guys have pioneered in whiskey at least the blockchain.
Yeah.
And there's different ways of doing it. Like it doesn't necessarily mean that you stuck to what has come before. You can always actually look forward reaching and looking ahead. Actually, so we all love Ardnamurchan. I did at work a talk in the company about blockchain, and I got to use Ardnamurchan as an example to talk to the company of how the system works.
That's amazing.
It was a fantastic excuse to bring a bottle into the office and get people hooked onto to whiskey. But it just shows that it really is, and it's great that you guys are doing it so well, and it's for a purpose. It's not just a gimmick either.
No, it's absolutely not. It definitely serves a purpose. And I tell you what, it wasn't cheap, and it's not easy. But we've now, it took us 3 years to develop it, but we've got it now, and we know what we're doing. And it's something, and this is Alex will tell anybody, Alex Bruce, our managing director, he will tell anybody that asks new distilleries that wants to approach us to ask how do we do it, just to come and ask us. We're happily share that experience, and that's the industry in its nutshell. Really, we're very cooperative that way. It's a really good way.
Gone are the days of trying to figure out what the bottle codes mean on the back of the bottle. I have a bottle of Springbank downstairs, one of the very few I've ever owned, and so this is last year. I ordered the Kilkerran 16, and I managed to get both them, Kilkerran 16 and the Springbank 10, and the Kilkerran 16 broke in transit, but the alcohol actually melted or rubbed off the printing on the back of the Springbank 10. So I have no idea what batch it is. If only they had blockchain and QR codes.
It doesn't matter as long as you enjoy the whiskey.
Of course,
the numbers don't matter. Just enjoy it.
I think it did sound like Rob brought a bottle of whiskey into work, and then he got caught, and then made up a backstory about it's the blockchain.
The blockchain, yeah.
Have you heard the new blockchain stuff? It's brilliant. Try this. Everyone's getting whiskey and coffee mugs and things as well. Like.
Oh, hang on. That must be Sevi. Oh, and Roy. They're there. Sevi as well.
That's took him all that time since he's came off the stream to spell that correctly and put all the punctuation in there.
I was going to say, they're not in the lounge, are they? When you say
That'll be class.
Oh,
I'd love to see them now, see what they're feeling like. Absolutely.
Yeah, imagine they're well plastered.
Just sleeping in that stairwell for the night.
I know. Where are they? Is that an Airbnb or?
It looked like a kind of
staff accommodation or
Airbnb. Yeah, something.
I didn't
along the
recognize that
lines.
place. Mm.
I'll see them next week. I'll find out.
I'm going
out
to
the
Campbeltown
details.
this summer. I cannot wait. I've not been back for so long.
2019 was last time I was there. It's been a while for me.
No, it'd be good to see it.
Then it should have been today. But my saving grace for today, as I says to Jeff, that I bought a ticket for a whiskey. You know, like a what's it called? Like not a lottery, but it cost me £1 for a ticket. It was for a 30-year-old Bruichladdich from 1988, the archive series or whatever it was called, and I won it. So for me not going to Campbeltown, and I felt really bad for myself, I thought I'll spend £1 and get over my grief. And
Wow.
I've won a bottle of 30-year-old Bruichladdich,
Brilliant.
old school from 1988,
Amazing.
Bruichladdich as well. So it's not the new blue bottle, the new kind of branding. It's that. So I've won a wee watch from today. It's close to Isla, so it kind of counts, right? Like
It's a serious silver lining, that,
from
isn't it?
Isla there. There's Sevi there.
Yeah. Living the dream without the electric coo. Not a disco cow, but close enough.
Very cool.
Would people like to play another game of Guess the Bottle?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Would everyone but Jenny like to play a game of Guess the Bottle? I'm just trying to scroll up. It was someone else's birthday today, but I can't find the comment. So I don't know if anyone else saw that or if you're still in the chat, but happy birthday to whoever it was.
Julie.
Birthday buddies.
Oh, of course.
Right, let's see if I can find. All right, Guess the Bottle. Oh, how do people want to do it? Do they want to do a hand up? Do they want to yell out again?
It was too competitive. We need to shout it out.
I'm just checked out.
I've learned my lesson.
Yeah, but with that stage of kind of coming to the end of the night, shout out.
We've done this one.
Watch out,
anyway.
Charlie.
We've done this one. Let's just skip this. There we go. All right, is everyone ready? And we're getting slandered by Sevi.
Yeah. He's shouting.
He's shouting.
Right, is everyone?
Tell me come in the
Never known the word.
chat. They need to be in the chat to do the quiz. It's all the way the wee tune V's the quiz works.
Right, is everyone ready for image number 1?
Now you've done this one already.
Right.
It looks like the
No, it's the same.
first one.
It doesn't take much to confuse me, don't. Right, image number 2.
Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker.
Red.
Oh, Walking Man.
We've had one Johnny Walker red label. Any other guesses?
It looks orange though.
It's not going to be the red label. Though.
The orange label.
All right, there's the game.
Oh, 15. Johnny Walker
15, the green.
Johnny Walker Green.
Was that Rob? I think I'll allow that
Rob.
when he said 15 just. And then I think Menno had the full name. So
Menno's
who do I
already
give it
won.
to? We're all winners here. Yeah, the old Johnny Walker green label.
I was curious why we could see the Walking Man, but it was on an orange background, but that makes more sense.
Yeah,
Such
I was
a
going to
great
say
game.
if you're far away from the screen, you have an advantage because I'm quite far from it now, and it's kind of made the shape. But when I produced it on my laptop earlier, you couldn't tell, so I've made it easier than I thought I had. Right, this is the last one. Who's not won yet?
I don't know.
Jenny.
Oh, right. Okay. Pity win. It's my birthday.
Right, okay.
No prisoners.
Wait, she said it again right there.
It's going to be an Ardnamurchan.
Actually, I've only got one more minute of it. It's 1 to midnight.
Oh wow, yeah, just snuck in.
Right. It's focus mode. Image number 1.
Oh.
Goodness.
The silence says it all, doesn't it?
Nothing.
All right.
Yeah, no idea.
Image number 2.
Oh.
It's a Loch Lomond of some degree.
Definitely
Any-
a loam. Yeah.
Anyone going to punch out a guess? I need the
go
full
for-
bottle.
I'll punch a guess. I've already got a point, and I'll go for Loch Lomond 18.
Okay, so Kev's out.
Oh, you're a
I
brilliant.
remember them
Yeah.
all. Can somebody help? Oh, I think it might be at Loch Lomond Inchmirren. Thanks, WhiskyWithMolly. Is that right?
Was that your guess? Are you going to lock that in? Are you
I
sure?
will lock that in because I'm terrible. I'm sorry. I don't know that one.
Okay, I think this next image will give it away.
Steam and Fire?
That's Roy's bottle.
Ash Roy's.
Oh, I need a
Roy's
full
Lomond.
name.
The
Rob, you
Aquavite
going to give me a
bottling.
full name? Menno's going for the Aquavite bottle of Loch Lomond. Anyone else? Rob, you going to give a full name, or are you just
Sorry,
going to
Loch
say?
Lomond Steam and Fire? Is that what it's called?
Okay, is that everyone locked
Fire
in?
bottle. Oh, look, I don't. WhiskyWithMolly. I'm going with everything you say.
All of the above.
I'm afraid to say it goes to
Steam and
Rob.
Fire.
It is
Yeah.
Steam and
Oh,
Fire.
well done.
Nice.
I thought that would have been the giveaway, the blue and the red.
Yeah.
I think that
Okay,
is the
so not
last.
my birthday.
Yeah. Oh, we've got a few people coming in. Let's see if we can get them to join in.
Oh, here we
I
go.
think Roy's in his pajamas.
He's spelt a dram or two down his top.
He's heard. He's changed his mind. He heard
I
someone
forgot him
wants
in the
to compare
toilet. I'll
him.
phone you back.
We'll see if he rejoins. I think all that's left is the brilliant quiz being put together by Menno. Oh, they are back again. Let's see.
Oh,
Hey.
Oh, you got
Head there as
Eddie,
well.
Frank, and Roy.
That is a posh
Brilliant.
Airbnb.
Let's-
Don't worry.
I'm so glad they're not wearing kilts. Is that just me?
hang on a bit.
We need to mute YouTube and replay on this.
Yes, please. I don't want to hear my voice. I'm losing it as it is.
Oh, is this the after party?
Oh, I think they've changed their minds again. They realise how serious this quiz is. They've seen how competitive Jenny is.
There was a full bottle of whiskey on that table, whatever it was, anyway, that I seen. So it'll be good to know what they've got on that. Well, in their glass and on that table.
I've muted myself. We'll give him a
I don't
quick
know,
quiz
it's
when they
raining
rejoin.
where you are. It's not stopped raining the whole day. Is it just awful? Sorry, I don't know why I just started talking about the weather. Fill this big gap.
That's when you know it's time to wrap it up, when Jenny starts talking about the weather.
And the goose has come out again.
Yeah.
He'll just sit here for the quiz. My lucky goose for the quiz.
Right.
Oh.
I don't
Do
know.
you guys have A, B's, and C's?
Oh, goodness.
yeah.
What the bus.
We get that ready.
Out paper.
Feel free. Oh, I did have a pen and paper and I've put it somewhere and I don't know where. Let's
Do
put
you like my notepad? Lockley.
That's great.
Oh, very nice.
That's actually that's a good branding there.
Yeah.
Mm.
How many letters do I do? And what font do I do?
Full alphabet, Jenny, and numbers 0 to 9 as well. You need and every emoji on your phone.
In all the fonts.
No, Jimmy, it's 1 a.m.
It's 1 a.m. where at Menno is.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's Menno saying, come on, hurry up, get your letters ready.
No. Jimmy was asking what time it is over here.
Yeah, that's Jimmy saying hurry up because Menno is
Yeah.
Do you need me to add it to the stage, Menno, or does that?
No, I think I've shared it. You could. Yep,
Okay.
there it is.
Okay, I have to
Jazz
use
hands
the
edition.
font.
Is everyone still drinking Campbeltown, by the way?
Yeah.
Absolutely, Andy.
No,
I've
I'm
got-
drinking and it's something different. Sorry. I'm terrible because I broke my cork.
Is that the 21 sherry 8-year-old?
Yeah, go with that.
The sulfur bomb.
This is the 8-year-old from 2021.
Yeah, that is the sulfur bomb, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got the 20. Is it the 2018? The 57.1. That's the bee's knees.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, they're back.
Oh,
We'll quickly
just in
put
time.
the quiz on pause.
Okay.
Let's
Why don't we say Roy, Frank, and Sevi? One of yous are A, one of yous are B, and one of yous are C. So if you think the answer's right, you have to stand up.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Wow.
Good. Nobody actually really wants to hear us, though. That's the thing, though.
Right. So what should we do? It'd be nice to join the quiz at the end, right? It's a Menno quiz especially. What do we do? Do we
Stand up.
play
Yeah, okay, that's before.
A for Sevi, B for Frank, and C for Roy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So is it like A?
YMCA.
B is like this. It's like so.
Oh, no, see,
Frank's won the short straw on this one to try and make a B out of
Yeah.
his body.
If anyone can do it, Kev, Frank can do it.
Frank could do it.
All I'll say is I've seen Frank lose a battle with a curb, so I don't want to see him make a B.
we heard about the nanny for the bruised ankle. You told us this story. So
Yeah, I'm still need to send in the receipt for the plasters. Right, are we ready for the quiz?
Oh, okay.
All right, it's on.
Okay, then let's go. Question 1. Who was the guest slapper on Jeff's first ever Campbeltown Whisky review? Would it have been A. Roy from Aquavitae, B. Ralphie, or C. Jim from the Whiskey Novice?
Oh.
Come on,
I
Jeff.
didn't even know this.
Menno, you're going to give us the
Come on.
countdown for the A, the B, or the C, right?
Yep.
No, we're not playing as a team. We're playing as individuals.
No, we can't.
No, you're playing as a team.
Playing as a team.
Play as a team.
No, because one of us is A, one of us is B, one of us is C.
Okay.
Do you not understand the quiz, Roy?
First thing I've done this. So let's.
This wouldn't have happened during bingo.
Us against
Hey.
them.
Us against them.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I've got.
Are you
this.
ready?
Yeah.
3,
Yeah.
2, 1.
Oh,
Answers B.
Oh,
B,
come
C,
on.
B. Okay, already you're splitting the crowds. It
What did
was
the boys
Ralphie,
get?
the one and only Ralphie from the Kilkerran 12.
Jeff, is that right?
Yeah.
That's below the belt, Roy, and you know it.
Okay, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. No.
Question 2. Although established in the early 17th century, well into the 19th century, Campbeltown was commonly referred to by what name? Would it have been A. Kilkerran, B. Glengyle, or C. Longrow? What was the more common name for Campbeltown in the early days?
whisper louder.
I was going to say, I was waiting to hear what they said.
Yeah.
All right, I think
Are you ready to commit?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then answers in 3, 2, 1. We've got C, B, C, A. I can't make out Jenny going with A as well. Oh, and she's done the nice font as
The
well.
font as well.
I did the font. Thank you for noticing.
Well done, Jenny.
I would like to point out
It's
that
spelled differently, though. It's spelled. It tells you in the back of it.
Yeah.
Karen. Killy
I think-
Kieran. Anyway, brilliant question. Thank you.
did Sevi, Frank, and Roy get that right because they did a battery because all three of them did A.
Yeah, I think they did something resembling an A, vaguely. But Question 3. During the whiskey boom of the 19th century, Campbeltown relied heavily on peat and barley brought in from where? Obviously, there needs to be a banana skin or two. So was it A, Ireland, B, the lowlands, or C, nowhere? Nowhere. They sourced it locally.
During the whiskey.
So we're talking second half of the 19th century, 1860, 1880, or thereabouts.
I have no clue.
Yeah.
I don't know this one either.
Is
Banana
it?
skin.
Uh,
Jenny.
There's
Hmm?
a banana skin beside it, which makes me nervous.
Oh, banana skin. Oh,
You're in the league, Jenny. You can't afford to lose this. Come on.
Come on, guys.
I mean, they've been really mean to me the whole time. You've
I
never-
think we can all agree it's untrue. We have not been mean to Jenny in the slightest.
Oh, it's Jenny's birthday.
I can't believe I share a birthday with Julie. Thank you. No, you've been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay, answers in 3, 2, 1. Just roll with it. That's a C from the lads, and I can't make out what you're saying, Kev. Sorry.
What's goose? Is that C? Oh.
C. It was Ireland. It was answer A.
If I can get a pass mark on a Menno quiz, I'll be so happy.
Ah,
Yet to happen.
come on, I'm rooting for you, Rob.
What's
Question
the pass
4.
mark?
5.
This should be an easier one. Obviously, Cadenhead is the Campbeltown-based indie bottler, but which of these other indie bottlers also has its HQ in Campbelltown?
Oh, wow.
Is it A, Dramore, B,
Oh.
North Star, or C, WhiskyWhisky? Am I not merciful?
That doesn't give much away, actually, does it? Right.
Which one is it?
Got a bit like that.
I was going to say, can you speak into the microphone, please?
I don't think they got that over in Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Can you actually hear us? I thought we were on mute.
Yeah.
Okay, answers in 3, 2, 1. A lot of C's, and obviously you're all correct. Well done. Question 5 is always a picture question. Which now long gone Campbeltown distillery are we looking at? Are we looking at A, Hazelburn, B, Longrow, or C, Springside?
Springside.
Oh,
That's a good name, Springside.
Mm.
I know this one.
This isn't the Tesco's one, is it?
No, I think those warehouses are being used by that they're being used right now. I'm pretty sure.
What was there before, Jenny? Do you remember what was there before? No. Yeah,
It was a co-op.
She's not that old, Kevin. That's really rude of you.
Glen Goose.
Goose.
Springside's got to be it's got to be a joke.
Okay, are you guys ready to commit?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Answers, please. Is across the board, and you're all well done. Congratulations. It was Hazelburn.
What can I do?
What can I do?
Onwards to question 6. As usual, there will be festival bottlings available during the Campbeltown Whisky Festival. Which of these is true about Kilkerran's festival bottling? Is it A, it's a 20-year-old, B, it's matured in rum and bourbon casks, or C, it's a 35 CL bottle?
Is it this year's festival bottling?
This year's festival bottle.
Hey, Sevi, do you know?
Hi, Frank, best pal, best buddy. How you doing, mate? You good? Yeah, all good.
You need to be there to know this, don't you?
They did put it online.
Yeah.
Oh, did they? Oh,
Where did they
Yes,
put
I
it
got-
online to, Rob?
I got
Really
I've got serious FOMO for this one.
I'm all right with you.
I'm like a Spanish footballer. Come on, mate.
You guys ready?
I think so.
Answers in 3, 2, 1. A lot of B's, a lot of C's, some A's. And
they're doing
correct.
A over there.
It's all correct,
it's,
but
We're all
the question,
winners.
the question is, something went wrong with that slide, but it's all correct. All 3 are correct. I don't know what
Oh,
happened.
nice one. Is that little Willies?
Oh, there it is.
What is this? I can only apologise to Sevi, Frank, and Roy, who are joining the most filthy vPub. I think this happened.
Quickly onwards to question 7. Oh, there's a bottle. The downside Was it? It's 140 quid or thereabout for a half size bottle. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Question 7: the Dalriata distillery will likely become operational in the near future, becoming the 4th or 5th in Campbeltown. Where does it take its name from? So where does the Dalriata name come from? Is it A, from the Gaelic Dalreid, Red David, an infamous Campbeltown illicit distiller and smuggler from the late 18th century? Is it B, from a long lost and forgotten Campbeltown distillery? Or is it C, from a 7th century Gaelic kingdom that covered Northern Ireland, Kintyre, Argyll, and the Hebrides?
Oh, D. Raita is a yogurt dish I buy from my Indian.
Yeah.
Do you know what's scaring me? That there's not a picture of an ass hat beside this, which means there's going to be an even harder question coming up than this. Which
it's like you know me. It's like you know
my
me.
life.
I mean,
I will just say again, I do have the power to kick Menno.
One night only.
Fair game.
I'm sure Dalreid is a Scottish composer. Dalreid.
I'm gonna have a guess.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Has Jeff got his phone out? Is he cheating?
No, I've got
No.
my letters on my phone.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I know. We're ready.
Okay.
Convenient.
3, 2, 1. Answers, please. That's a lot of C's, a lot of C's, a lot of C's. Well done. And you're complaining, Kevin. It was from the kingdom. Okay, then. Question 8. Jazz hands at the ready. Since starting his own WhiskyTube channel, Jeff has done well over 100 videos and reviews, slapping quite some bottles along the way. But where did Jeff find his whiskey of the year 2023? Was it A, from an English distillery, B, from a Dutch distillery, or C, from an Australian distillery?
I would like to point out I found it in the bottom corner of my shelving
Yeah.
IKEA unit.
Yeah.
Hand your camera down, will you, Jeff?
Just point it down a bit.
I think it must be the Frieskinder. Yeah, it's got to be. Frieskinder.
It's that Sullivan's Cove we picked up.
It's Sullivan's Cove for sure.
Sullivan's Cove.
Instead of Frank and Roy sound like the guys that won Who Wants to Be a Millionaire when they said they weren't cheating.
Sneezing and coughing.
Sullivan's Cove.
You're comfortable with this one, Jeff?
Worryingly, no.
Okay, give it a shot anyway in 3, 2, 1. PBA and yeah. It was a Dutch distillery. It was a Milkstone.
Of course. You could have got a better screenshot.
Yeah, I know.
I
was more focused than you.
It's like you've just stuck up on it, Jeff. You're about to attack it in a sleeper hold.
I've passed. I've got 6. I can stop now.
Anyone got an 8 out of 8?
I'm on 5.
I've got 6. Made up.
I'm not going to even ask what the bottom 3 guys scored.
We'll be lucky to be on 3.
Okay, then, rooting for a 3. Question 9. By the late 18th century, Campbeltown had established itself as whiskey capital. Of all the legal stills in Scotland, how many could be found in Campbeltown? By the late 18th century. Was it A, about a third? Was it B, about half of them? Or was it C, about 2/3 of all legal stills in Campbeltown? This is sort of to ease you into the ass hat, which will be shortly.
Legal distilling.
Legal distilling, yep.
Out of all of the Scottish distilleries, how many were in Campbeltown? Okay, I get that.
Legal.
Oh, I've lost my figure. Oh, there.
Legal distilling. No, legal distillers before 1820.
It feels ass hatty, this does.
Yeah, it does.
There's loads, but they were mostly illegal, weren't they? Most of them are illegal. I don't know.
What was the year for this then?
Maybe let's go off them.
This is tough.
It can't be before this.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Like
Oh, that was fantastic.
The vPub I always saw was a shining, glistening beacon of like community and good morals, and I feel like I've turned this into just a filth show.
Mm-hmm. Glad to be of service.
Oh, considering our conversation before we went live, it's actually gone pretty well.
It's only your birthday once.
Menno, that's too many words for this time of night. I can't even.
Yeah. just answer C. Quick answers in 3, 2,
What was
1.
that? What was that?
I'm going to change my answer.
If you've told us the right answer, we've picked it.
Oh, you.
It's actually C.
That's what I said.
Oh, God.
Okay, then.
Menno, you're a great guy. Don't let anyone tell you anything different.
Answers in. Oh, no, sorry. The ASAP question.
That's a real asshole.
Answers in 3, 2, 1 question.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't care.
Okay, Kilkerran is now easily a fan favorite amongst many whiskey enthusiasts. But what was the capacity of the original Glengyle distillery before it closed in the 1920s?
See, I knew this asshat was going to show up at some point.
Was it A, roughly half of the capacity of its 21st century incarnation? Is it B, roughly the same of what Glengyle actually produces these days? Or is it C, about as much in 1,000 liters per annum as a total amount of bottles slapped on Jeff Whisky videos?
Oh my god.
We all know it's not C. No one would put themselves through watching them all.
Right, boys.
Sleep well, everyone.
What it's not just.
Oh my goodness, my
It has to be C.
There's so many words there.
I'm just choosing a letter I like because I like it.
I've turned my letters upside down and mushroomed them up and then just picking one up and see what happens. That's my tactic on this one here.
It's as good a tactic as any.
Yeah.
We're about to find out what I'll pick up. I don't know. They're all upside down, so I'm going to pick one up and see.
Okay. Pause. Right. Fair enough.
Okay, answers in 3, 2, 1.
We still love you, Menno. We still love you.
Yeah, I've heard that one before.
Still love you.
Too many words, Menno.
Congratulations on the birthday, girl, Jenny. Well done.
Yes! I'm so competitive.
Oh, come on, lads.
I knew that actually.
Yeah.
We're in Campbeltown. We're far away from everything.
Here.
10, no chance.
Do we have 10? Do we have 10?
Did anyone get a 10? Yeah.
I think you're 4, I have 3, you're 10.
I've got the same as Jeff, so that makes me happy.
Yeah. I will say it was a particularly difficult quiz tonight, so anything
Oh, they never are.
over
never
a 4.
So thanks for doing
We
that.
cut someone distracted.
Yeah. I'm not sure we got 10 between the lot of us and we all answered the same question.
Take it and bag it.
So, do we have a winner? I think Jenny is the winner.
I got 7.
I got 6.
Oh, well
Yeah,
done.
so.
Yeah, we got 6.
Birthday girl.
Right, so we'll sing a happy birthday. Right.
That's another happy birthday, Jeff. Just
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday,
Jenny Karlsson. Happy birthday to you. Hip, hip.
Hooray! And
Thank
Kevin's
you.
gone.
Oh, I feel very honored. Thank you so much. I love it.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
That's the best thing I think I've ever done.
I am touched. Do you know I'm 50 next year, so I have a year to do 50 things before I turn 50. So send me something I should do before I turn 50. I want to
To
know.
Campbeltown with us.
Yeah.
I'm going to Campbeltown in July, so that's fine.
Well, that's one off the list. That's fine.
Get me with a list. Anyway.
We've got Gerben, Roy saying that if you disagree with an answer, to just take it in the point in that spirit. 10 points. I think you can't argue with that.
Has Kevin had enough? Is he just off?
He lost. He bailed.
Is this one of these videos where Kevin's going to appear in here with us?
Yeah.
Very kind of you, Jimmy Leg. You didn't have to do that. Very kind of you. Thank you very much. And Kevin's back. Sorry.
Apologies.
That's all right. Well,
thank
you all for coming. I'm afraid to say I've got no more rounds of Guess a Bottle.
Oh, that was quality.
Did we, Sevi, Frank, and Roy? Would you like to do a speed round of Guess a Bottle?
Let them do it. Yes.
Guess the bottle. What do you think, guys? Speed round to Guess the Bottle
for us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's not for anyone else.
It's us against each other then.
I could say this again and not get it right again. Welcome to my world.
Yeah, because when we play Guess the Bottle, that picture's going to come up at some
Here we
point
go.
as well. So yes, absolutely play Guess the Bottle. That OnlyFans that will come up, so this will be funny.
There's ulterior motives from Jeff.
So Sevi, Frank, and Roy. So it's a case of a bottle really zoomed in, and each photo it gets further away so you can see it clearer. So you've got to guess it in as few pictures as possible.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Focus like more than a foot in front of me, but that's
Okay.
So image number 1.
Fight attendance.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said first time.
Was it?
UTI test strip.
It's a spring. No, spring bank. Oh, pear shape. Pear shape spring bank.
I need the full description.
No, dead spring bank.
Seb, it's not a catchphrase. You need to kind of just guess it.
60 spring bank. I don't even know what they did back then. 21.
Local barley, Springbank local barley.
Yeah, Roy with the win there. Springbank local barley.
Hey,
come on.
Right, are you ready? I might skip this one.
No.
No, you can't skip any.
Right, are you ready for it? Bottle number 2.
Don't know if I'm ready.
Port Charlotte.
I need specifics.
Port Charlotte.
Yeah. You see the shit.
10-year-old maybe.
Does anyone want to lock in an answer?
I've big 10. Port Charlotte 10. Port Charlotte 10.
I'm not locking in.
Okay, next image.
Yeah.
Port Charlotte.
Oh, that's a Port Charlotte 10.
That's still good.
No, that's
Yeah.
a.
Oh, you didn't see that?
Port Charlotte 10.
Yeah, Port Charlotte 10.
That is mad.
Right. Are you ready?
Another point of attendance.
Yeah.
That's Johnny Walker.
Which one though?
Oh no.
The orange one.
The whiskey one.
Right. The next image. This is the giver.
The green.
Green.
Is
It
it
must
green?
be Johnny
No,
Walker Green Label. It must be.
Yeah, it is.
That's it.
You get that, Seth. That's yours.
I just said Johnny Walker the green. I don't know if that counts. No.
I like how the conversation is repeating what everyone else guessed last time. Johnny Walker Orange. All right, the final one. Are you all ready?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
I can't even remember this one.
What?
All right, image number 2.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
What did we not run it coming on this earlier?
Right,
Was it the aquavitae bottle?
I don't think it was.
No.
I can't remember.
Right.
This.
Obviously, it's
Image.
a lot, but just what one common, is it?
Number 3.
Oh, I don't know.
Steam and Fire. Red label. Steam and Fire.
I need full bottle here.
Don't know.
Steam and Fire.
Is it? All right, okay.
Steam and Fire.
Is that a Glasgow exclusive?
Ah,
Yeah, I'll accept that. Yeah, Loch Lomond, Steam and Fire.
Yeah.
Boy, that's amazing.
Yeah, very well
Yeah,
done.
well done.
They did 2 to 1.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done, Roy.
Well, we crapped out the quiz. So.
Is this your
Yeah.
Airbnb you're in right now?
Couldn't possibly tell. No, sorry. That's
Or
but
Roy, whose house have you broken into?
Yeah.
You've stole all their whiskey, obviously. There's nothing on the shelves behind you. You've taken everything.
Yeah.
Trust you, Kev, to notice where the whiskey is and isn't.
My thing is, what is a whiskey on the table? What is that? I
We're
can't
not
see
allowed
a
to
label.
disclose such things.
No, I can't. But as long as you like a wee electric broom coo,
Oh,
the wee
Glen Scotia, old Glen Scotia.
Is that the wild coo?
Yeah. No, this is the wee Brune electric coo.
Oh, the electric coos. Yeah,
Or-
yeah, they're cool.
No, it's the wee
Oh,
electric coo.
sorry.
So it's Little Brown Dog, it's What Whiskey and Stark Brothers
And start,
all
yeah.
getting together to put together a Campbeltown blend. It's 7 years old, but
and 9 and older.
and 18 and 21-year-old, and it's
Ooh.
£55, and
It's bra.
it's bra. It's tasty.
Is it a malt or a blend?
A blended malt. Yeah, all
Okay.
the Campbelltown whiskies are represented.
And it's released
Yesterday.
was it? I was about to say tomorrow. Maybe that was the wrong thing to say. And it's yes, very new and it's very lovely. So
Yeah.
very much enjoyed.
Right, well, we raised a glass for Jenny's birthday.
Yes.
For Jeff, looking after all the barflies on the vPub, and it's still going to be a shorter vPub than mine, isn't it?
Yes.
And for Rob and Menno and Kev and us. For just us.
Just being especially because Frank about 4 hours ago was on his way back.
You were not even supposed to be here. I'm not.
Frank was on his
Like
way
a magic
back
trick.
on his bike. So
Yes, not so very sensible to.
Yeah. Cheers.
cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Fine.
Thank you.
Right.
Cheers, Jeff.
Right. Thank you for coming, and cheers for watching along. And that's the perfect time to end it. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, Jeff, as well.
Thank
Night.
you, Jeff. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Birthday.
Happy birthday, Jenny.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
See you soon.
Cheers.